Hello my beautiful badgers, messy coda back again with a classic game dev interview. This time I'm joined by legends Chris and Tony West. That's McSpeedy and Tubby Crumbles to you and me. They've got over 4 decades AAA game dev experience, and this was one of my favourite game dev interviews because I just couldn't stop laughing, smiling and singing a song. And if you want to be an amazing game developer just like Chris and Tony West, well, pop over to the Unity Asset Store and you can pick up some incredible assets to elevate your workflow and be just as mega as these mega boys are. You see what I did there? Because a load of Chris West's assets are called mega in front of them. Oh, I'm very witty. Sit back, enjoy, and I'll see you all in a moment. Lads. Oh my God.
Buenas noches.
They scared. They made me.
Evening.
You made me wee myself a little bit. Luckily, I got
Getting
most
old.
of it out before the stream started.
Sitting in a puddle.
We should have just sat there silent for half an hour.
Oh
Still
my
can.
word! Before the stream, we did a test call, everyone, and it was quite fun. I did like testing 1, 2, 3, and both of them at the same time doing the same jokes. It was very heartwarming. I think this stream is going to be a very wholesome, lovely, warm, fuzzy stream, or
Family friendly.
or it could really go the other way, and it can be Win Twins turned.
Well, let's see how much control you have.
Oh, depends how much. What were you having? Limoncello? What are you drinking over there?
No,
No, that stuff. Oh, no.
Vodka caramello.
I do apologise. Do we have a quick look at what people are writing in the chat? I will. You don't have to worry about looking at it. I will
turn it off.
I will clean my glasses first of all. That's a gift. That's a lockdown gift. That is. What gift did you get from lockdown? I don't want to hear. You know, we've all had the sad stuff. But what was the nice gift that lockdown gave to you both? Before we get
I
started,
loved lockdown. There were no cars. It was so quiet, and because I spend all my time in anyway doing work, it was like everyone else had to stay in as well.
Oh, so
I didn't notice a difference at all. It's exactly like this. Every day was the same as all the days before. Because I don't go anywhere.
He lives in this lovely village in England where he can't even see the road. So
don't say the name of the village, or people will stalk him.
I wasn't going to. So he every day for him was just the same during lockdown as well.
But do you get Tesco dropping off your shopping in Spain? Or what do you do for the home shopping?
No, you were allowed to go to your closest supermarket. That was your only thing you were allowed to do. Lockdown here was actually really quite bad. I used to cycle down because I like to cycle anyway, so I used to use it as an excuse just to get out and because you weren't even allowed to exercise in the UK. You could go out and exercise and do things, but here you weren't even allowed out to exercise, so you literally were locked in unless you had animals which you could take for a walk within 100 meters of your home. It was It was pretty strict, and the police were going around checking everything, even in the campo countryside. The police were patrolling that, and with helicopters, they took it very seriously.
There were people in the UK going, "You're not exercising. You're just out of the house
with some joggers on." Yeah.
Well, that's not a dog. That's somebody that's a furry in an outfit on a leash.
Just dragging it along.
What are you doing there? Right, chat. How is the audio? How does the audio sound? I'm not using Crisp. Lads, I always said I was going to pay for Crisp. Right?
I'm all excited about it.
Is it too much?
No. Do you know what? Because I'm tight, as people might know me. I looked at how much it would cost me for the year, and I was like, well, that costs money. Isn't there an open source alternative? We should be supporting the open source community.
Totally.
So I went and found an open source thing, and it seems to be doing exactly the same thing. I've got chat. Can you hear fuzziness in the background? Can you hear my computer whirling away? Can you hear anything? I'll be quiet for a second. I mean, that's long enough for them to be able to work out.
I was going to make this noise.
Can't hear anything here.
Right. Well, yeah, you. Then chat just saying audio's good for me. So I didn't pay a penny. It would gonna cost me. It's $8 a month, right?
Yeah.
And that's so if you do the maths times 12, that's like $300, right? So I wasn't going to spend that much money on it.
Well, it'd be worth it.
And this was completely free. And do you know what free is? Free's tasty.
I wish Photoshop and Max were free. That would save a lot of.
They can be free if you.
I'm mature students. Yeah, that would work.
If you're like, I'm still paying off my student loan, therefore I should count as getting it. Should we do a proper introduction? Start the stream off like grown-ups.
No.
Yes. Right. So this is the bit where I do an intro, so that when I do finally edit it, stick it on YouTube. Although I haven't put any of this season yet onto YouTube, because I'm waiting to delay it and then start bundling them out. It will go on YouTube. For those who have sent me messages asking when are these going to be on YouTube, they will be on YouTube, but you can also catch the VODs anytime you want on Twitch. So do not worry, just go scroll down to the video section of Twitch and you can see any of the previous live dev interviews we've done this season. We've done quite a lot of them, and including this beautiful one after the show. So, ready?
Go.
Everybody sitting at home in front of your Google Watches, your Alexa microwave AI PCs of the future, give a warm and messy to the most famous, most celebrated twins of game development that have ever been on this stream, Chris and Tony West. Welcome to the stream, lads.
Thank
Pretty
you.
cool.
I thought we were Darling Brothers then.
Yeah, I thought so as well. I was bigging up somebody else in the room.
You're quite the wrong person.
I haven't been able to get. Are both of them still alive?
Yeah. They sent us an email the other day because this other thing we're doing. The guy who's organising that works for them with their new publishing house. They want to work with us for some reason. So I don't know. Yeah, so they are still going.
Hold on, I didn't even know about this.
I told you about that. You know, the Thalamus chap. He works for the Darlings. I told you about it. If you can't understand what I tell you, it's your own fault.
Well, I don't remember that.
I told you. Remember, I said we met them in the lift going up to ECTS.
Let's not have a domestic. Okay?
Oh, come on.
No, this is gold. Keep going.
Anyway,
what else am I going to find out about?
So how often does this happen where
Chris
actually leads and tells you about stuff and decides what he should and shouldn't tell you, Tony?
Actually, it's probably more the
other way around.
Yeah.
Because I have to look now. While you both were talking, I have to look on the Discord to see who's got the green circle around their head. Right? So no, because it's the problem about brothers.
Go green.
You do go green. So, and thankfully you haven't swapped your eye. If you swap your pictures round, that would be cruel.
We never used to do that as kids when we
never
used to play on that at all. Pretend to be each other. For japes. Oh, sorry. Yes, we did.
What was it? What was it like growing up though, as twins? Like, you know, we've obviously got to do this, but
obviously, totally normal. Isn't that what everyone?
We're not the weirdos here.
Yeah,
but you both, and I'm gonna. It's because do you know what's odd? You both like each other, or do you not really like each other? You're just forced to be together.
We've got our brothers-in-law, are twins. We went to school with them. And they can't stand each other. They can never be around each other. And so we kind of grew up with them, and they couldn't be in the same room together. But we were always together, and we've always worked together. So yeah, and it's only since Tony moved to Spain that we've been apart. But no, it was great fun growing up. We always had something to play with.
Yeah, shared
interests. We like the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, everyone should have one.
Yeah, like a pet, like a cheer pet.
Your free clone. Everyone should have a free clone.
It's like a backup. If one goes down, you've got another one.
Well, I was going to say that you're the best choice for if you need a new organ or something, because it's less likely that your body's going to reject it.
I don't want his brain.
Well, yeah, you wouldn't go that far because you know it's a man with two brains. Yeah, I've got that really stuck in my head now. But that's always a nice feeling. But was that the same with the skill sets you were getting? Did you feel like you should have redundancy with each other? Like, let's both be good at programming, let's both be good at art, just in case we can take over from each other.
We started off and we both coded and we both did art. And as you say, that was a bit stupid. So we literally one day just tossed a coin to see who was going to do programming and who was going to do the artwork. And it came down that I was going to do the artwork and Chris was going to do the coding. And it seems to have worked out, but then who knows? Had it been the other way around,
we do wonder sometimes.
Even better.
Oh my word! It literally was a flick of a coin.
Yeah, we were sitting in some rather dingy digs in Plymouth. Supposedly, we were supposed to be going to university, but we were put in this old people's home, basically, because we had a car at the time, so we weren't allowed to stay in the uni digs. We had to go and stay in this place out of town. And it was so depressing being stuck in this bedroom.
We have happy accidents.
Two old folks downstairs making you cups of tea all the time.
Who are probably now about the same age that we are now.
Yeah, but literally one day we were sitting down. We had the Commodore 64 there at the time, and Tony said, "We've got to. One of us has got to do one or the other." Tony tossed the coin. It came down. I do the coding. I got sent out to buy the donuts so he could start doing the graphics for our first game. So that was how that all started.
Because we shared one computer, so it was like it's my turn on it. I want to do some, and no, I want to finish some code. It was like it wasn't optimum.
So it wasn't like the dawn, like the first ever pair programmers was. The agile game development was invented with the West boys. It was let's flick a coin while you go out and get the donuts. Now, was the coin rigged though? Like, did you ever find out? Was this a legitimate coin toss?
I think so.
Yeah, you did it, Tony, didn't you? You'd cost it, so...
Did I call it? Yeah.
I think you tossed it and called it. Yeah, it's rigged.
Yeah, I want to do art. I don't want to do all that horrible, boring stuff. I want to draw.
No, you do cutting out and colouring in, and I do letters and numbers, don't I? That's how
when
everybody...
When we say artwork, back in it was Commodore 64. I mean, it wasn't really art. It was just trying to make
dots,
great big chunky pixels look as close to what you want them to look like as possible. Which I actually enjoy. And having just got back into doing some C64 artwork, I'm loving it. Great.
So this was before people started getting the digitizer and converting an actual image into.
You did it on paper back in those days. You didn't have when we started. There was no editors or anything. You couldn't go anywhere to download a character editor or anything. So you had to draw it out on graph paper, then convert that to the binary or the byte value. So type that in, then you could test it to see whether it looked okay. So there's no editors or anything. So there's nowhere to learn. You had to teach yourself this out of the reference book that came with the Commodore 64 or whatever computer you had. So it was a bit of a pain to learn in those days. Not like it is today.
My first upgrade was when I nicked a few maths books from school because they were already had the grids in, so it saved me having to draw out all these 8x8 grids because it was already done for you. So that was that was technology at the time. It was a new pad.
Oh my! See, this is how me and my brother used to do it, and I always thought that you lot who are making the real games had some kind of magical tools.
We did later on.
Yeah.
Later on, there were some char ed. I think I used, and sprite ed were the ones that I used to use. And then when we got further on, and Chris started doing cartridge games, he managed to put all those on a cartridge for me, so that there was instant loading. Didn't have to worry about loading the editor up and then waiting tick, 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 on the disk drive. And that was great. Had my own little cartridge of editors.
Oh my word! Do you know what? I'm really sad that technology has moved on.
Yeah, it was lovely. Having limitations of the old computers was just you had to be concise, and everything had to have a purpose, and every character was sacred. It was, whereas these days, 3D and memory coming out your ears and graphic cards. There's no limit. That's why all these teams of hundreds and 200s of people doing AAA games. I don't like it. I like small indie, just the two.
Do you feel like the creativity's lost then? Because
Well, no,
No,
there's loads of
no.
great. I mean, it's absolutely amazing, and I look at these games and racing games these days and stuff, and I'm just blown away by how real and the quality and every little detail on the cars are modelled, and they just look absolutely like they're real. And sometimes you go through YouTube and there'll be a video of racing, and you have to sort of look closely. Is this a sim or is it a real race and stuff? It's just absolutely perfect. Which was one of the reasons. Sorry, my monitor's just gone off. Which is one of the reasons why when we started doing Ages of Speed, we made the decision that we weren't going to go for that total realism thing, because there's no point, because there are so many brilliant games that do it so well that there was absolutely no point. So let's try and make something with a bit of character.
Well, while we're nattering away, we've just been raided by a certain Irishman. That
Hey,
He's late. He's 20 minutes late.
Top of the morning. Sorry, that's not allowed these days, is it?
You're doing a Greek accent, as Irish would say. So, 47 raiders. It's always more than that because Twitch lies. So the 2,000 raiders that have come from John Stream, hello, you pirates. Now, I love the fact that Irish has written, they sound exactly as I imagined.
Oh.
Sexy and
that Richard Burton tone of the voice. Yeah.
I was going to go for someone else.
Pitt
or someone, but if you want to be Richard Burton, that's fine.
Brian Blessed.
Oh, do you know what? Because you've gone there. Right? God is alive. You have to choose who would you have at your dinner party, right? And it can't be someone that you know.
Right, dead as what? They can be dead.
They can be dead. They can be dead.
Yeah?
Thankfully,
Okay.
Brian's alive at the moment. He doesn't have any toes left.
Yeah.
But by the way, best Brian Blessed performance. I Claudius. Remember that?
No, you got to do Z Cars. That was what's his name? Fancy Smith or whatever his name was in Z Cars. That was brilliant back then.
It was amazing in I Claudius.
For me, the best Brian Blessed, I had a TomTom sat nav, and you could download houses.
That was good.
And I downloaded Brian Blessed, and it made every journey amazing. It was just
oh my god! Does it give you anecdotes instead of directions?
Yes.
At the end, when you arrived at your destination, he said something about Everest, didn't he? So
I can't remember. But it was hilarious driving to Brian Blessed, giving you directions.
I have to take that off though. When we gave that to Yvette's mum, just because she was always getting lost, and I left. It had Sean Connery on there as one of the voices. Roger Moore. Yeah, it was quite fun as well. But Brian, he was so loud, it made a jump every time he gave him a direction, so I had to take it off.
Oh no! Take the next left. Where are you going?
And to infinity and beyond. He used to say.
That's somebody. That's
yeah, but he used to say that.
He didn't care about copyright infringement. Damn your eyes! Oh my word. Okay, so who would you have at the dinner party then? You can have Brian. I'll give you Brian. He's the free guest. He's at everyone's party.
It's easy for me because there's one who I would love to have met and had dinner with, and actually our dad did actually have
stealing my one. You're stealing me.
No, it's mine. I've got
it. No.
And that is who I think is the best English comic actor, and that was Terry Thomas. For me, any Terry Thomas film is just a given. That's just
School for Scoundrels. Brilliant.
Yeah.
What your dad knows him? Or knew him?
No, I didn't know him. He was. My dad used to work in the Middle East, and he would. And what was the film? Our Man in.
Carlton Brown of the FO.
That's okay. And so in those days, there weren't that many expats abroad. So my dad was working there and Terry Thomas was filming. So they used to just, all the expats would get together at the British Club or whatever it was. And he was having dinner with Terry Thomas at his house. And Terry Thomas went off to the toilet. When he came back in, he came back in backwards with his trousers down around his ankles, and all these stamps on his backside because my dad used to collect stamps and he would dry them on the toilet seat. And there he comes with it, and he thought it'd be funny to stick them all to his bum and come back in for dinner.
Oh my word.
So he sounds like a brilliant guest to have at dinner.
Yeah.
So over to you, Christopher. Well, who's yours now?
Who would God? I would probably say I'd quite like to have. Let's see, two would be maybe Michael Caine.
Oh yes.
Because he's done so many films that I think are brilliant. And just talk about the Italian Job, that'd be one thing, and probably somebody like Peter Ustinov, just because he had so many fun stories to tell as well.
Sure,
That was Stephen Fry. It's,
do you know what? Because everyone goes, "Oh, Stephen Fry," because you got to have Stephen Fry. Like Stephen Fry and Brian Blessed are the perpetual guests at everyone's dinner party. But Peter Ustinov, oh yeah, oh that'd be great.
And raconteur.
And because he did ballets.
He did everything.
Everything exactly. With his obvious Russian connections as well, went over to Russia and directed ballets and operas, and came back and did movies. Obviously, was one of the most famous Poirots to do movies, but not the TVs. And I still forgive him for having Hercule Poirot suddenly in the 1960s, which made no sense.
Oh yeah. Well, they got even later than that. I watched one the other day when it was like 1980s or something.
Oh yeah,
It's like, it's not quite right, is it? It doesn't work.
It's like, his things one time here. Well, Hitler's not here. What's going on? This is steady on, old man. Son Goku's having a problem going to the Chris West link that I created as a bit. So for Son Goku, I will just post in here what you're missing out on. It's a link to the asset store. There you go. It's working for everyone else. Seems to be a Firefox problem. It works on Edge. Yeah, it's because of Firefox shenanigans when it comes to SSL certificates. So I think it's just don't ever use Firefox is the lesson to that story. Now, going to weird technical problems, you lads, as you alluded to at the start, it wasn't just you were working on one platform. When you're making games, you were having to port it to everything back in.
Yeah, it was easy because he just did the Commodore 64 version.
Yeah, it's easy. That's right. Yeah.
And then we had other people doing the different versions. But from the art point of view, there was only one artist, so I had to do the artwork for the Commodore 64, the Spectrum, the Amstrad, the Amiga, the ST, PC, EGA, CGA, and VGA, and all usually in a period of about 6 months.
What a hero!
I know.
That's what happens when you rig the coin toss, mate.
Yeah, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
They only got paid the same as everyone else. They're all just happily going along on one. The Amiga ST guys, he just did one and then just ported it over to the.
Stupid, wasn't it? Didn't use any of the hardware on the Amiga. Just port the ST code over.
What?
Recompile it. Yeah, that's what they did. All did back in those days. They didn't use any of the copper lists, the stuff you had on the Amiga, to do the really fancy stuff. You wrote the ST version, which had software sprites basically, and then you just basically recompiled it and did exactly the same thing on the Amiga. They didn't have to do anything. So they got 2 versions out of one set of code. It was crazy. All the games were done like that.
My word! And he got paid.
Yeah. Boz, he ended up working at Google. Brilliant. Became a manager at Google. It's
well, obviously he knew how to prioritize his time right.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
He spent 2 years doing Trivial Pursuit on. Yeah.
That was a bad one.
I mean, you lads have been. I was looking through you. I was spying on you, looking through you so far. And I just wasn't aware. I mean, it's 4 decades. It's a long time. How many different games you've worked on? What? Give some highlights to the chat. Obviously, we can't go through 40 years of every single game, but I'm gonna. Obviously, as I was talking to Chris earlier, and you're making a racing car game, so we're gonna mention Street Racer in a bit. But give me some other highlights of some crazy games you boys have worked on in the past.
The Bond games were quite interesting back in the day before GoldenEye. Everyone, you say Bond games to everyone. Oh, did you do GoldenEye? I wish we did, but we didn't. But no, we did License to Kill. That was fun because of the various issues and things you had to go through to do that one. So that was fun.
Ooh.
But that was also fun because we actually had access to the film before anyone else has seen it, and
No.
yeah, but we had to write the whole game.
We
Only seen the opening title sequence, didn't
So
we?
if you play License to Kill, it is basically the opening sequence is the game, because that was the only bit that they showed us slides of at the beginning of the
script we
project.
had. Yeah.
And then all the actions. I think they'd only filmed the.
No, but we were about to release it, weren't they? They had a release party coming up like in 2 days or something, and all of a sudden they said, "Oh, they put a new scene in the film. They got a tanker chase." So we had to code that tanker chase level in about 2 days, and I was working on it while the party was getting ready downstairs. I was still trying to get the Commodore 64 version.
It doesn't show, does it? It's slick and
yeah, oh yeah.
Oh,
so those are the days.
I gotta find a copy of this one.
Yeah.
Right. So,
doing that though was stressful because it absolutely had to be finished at a certain time, and that was the whole contract, and the film was coming out, and if you missed it then there were major ramifications. So there was a lot of pressure on those to get those done, so that's why they tended to be quite a bit rushed and not so polished, I think.
Did they not even give you like the synopsis of the film? They just went, here's the title sequence, go make us a game.
Well, hang on, they may have given it to the management, but a lot of that stuff never actually filtered down to the people that were writing the game. So there was a sort of like a chain of command, and who knows what they got, but what we got given were just a bunch of slides showing the opening sequence, and then off you go. So
and then we got to see the film like a day before release. We got to go to Pinewood, didn't we, to the Bond set there, and they showed us the film, but it had no sound on it. Half the scenes were missing, and so well, great! It's a wonderful film. I have to go and watch that one. But we got to meet Cubby Broccoli there and stuff. So that was quite cool. So it's probably one of the most fun ones we've worked on.
Yeah. The arcade conversions were interesting. They were because you got given the arcade game to obviously to play, so we had them in the garage. So a lot of time was wasted just playing the games rather than for research purposes, of course.
And we had the Star Wars machine at the Kremlin, didn't we? And you just on it all day long, weren't you? Just playing Star Wars.
Sit-in Star Wars, and then the hard driving machine.
And
it had a force feedback on the hard driving machine, but we felt it wasn't quite up to muster because it didn't really. So we went out and bought a new. It was like fan belt. Or a
Qualcast lawnmower, or something.
So we bought a size just a little bit too small and put that on, and then it could take your thumbs off.
Oh my word!
It was like, this is serious stuff now. So it was, they were fun. Had a little arcade on the ground floor of the Kremlin. It was good fun.
Now I found a video for License to Kill. So it says here. Now this is how old it is, right? It says Commodore. Chris West doesn't say CC, but then it's got Amiga separated, not Commodore Amiga. And we found out the person. So we got Paul Margrave,
yeah.
did the Atari, and Boz Boswell. Is Boz real, or was Boz was nickname, or is his name Boz Boswell?
Yeah, Colin Boswell, but he was so miserable and grumpy all the time.
Hold on, he's recently passed away.
He has recently passed away.
So we can't be too mean.
No, but I went to the funeral and everybody went up to give Boz a eulogy. The first thing they said was, he was a grumpy old git.
He was miserable.
So I think we're allowed to say it if everybody else said it.
Yeah, that's true. That was. But yeah, he was a grumpy old man. Oh man, he was a couple of years older than we were, I think.
Yeah.
But yeah, Boz did did that.
But yeah, Boz did the Amiga, but it was a port, wasn't it? He just took Paul's code and just recompiled it. It was hello. So
well, I'm sharing my screen with you now.
Okay.
So you can see
this sort of stuff.
I've got to click something now, haven't I?
I love the fact that at home, because I've got the green circle, right? So I can see who's chatting. But everyone at home is like, which one's which? Because you sound somewhat similar. So to make life easier, one of you has to do an accent. So
You're not allowed these days, eh?
No, that's against
cultural
all sorts
appropriation.
of rules.
no, you're allowed to do if it's if it you can do an accent of your own area.
Well, good luck
So,
with
like,
that, Tony.
Tony, go a little bit,
Do your Terry
more.
Thomas. It's,
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say the person you wanted your dinner.
I
say. English accent.
Wasn't Terry Thomas in the St. Trinians?
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
one of them.
he was in loads of stuff. He popped
Those
up all over the
magnificent men in their
place. Yeah.
flight.
Oh, yeah. It was, makes me laugh just thinking about it.
A Danish accent only. Irish is saying just not Greek.
I could do the Swedish chef from the Muppets. The chocolate mousse. Here's the chocolate and here's the mousse.
Now,
Put the mousse in the chocolate.
They go up, diddly up.
I like to say that to anyone from work who might be watching this stream, I have not requested the Muppet Swedish accent.
You normally request a song, so that's halfway there.
Yeah, we got out of that.
Oh, see, the thing is, right, I wasn't aware that Tony also was a connoisseur of this beautiful stream and was aware of the singing. Now, I already promised Chris I wasn't going to make him, but I was like, should we do a prank on Tony and make him think that we all agreed to do a song, and then he would start and none of us would join in.
Yeah, but I'd have done it because I don't care.
Oh, I said you wouldn't have done it. Oh,
well, I say I wouldn't have done it, but then I would have done it.
Now,
I cave in.
How about Flash Gordon?
What? Sing it?
Yeah, because in honor of the theme to.
The original black and white one.
We've.
I don't think Messi knows about that.
I used to watch that one as a kid.
With spaceships on strings.
Yes.
Yeah.
Every Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Down
the cinema.
We used to go to the cinema and watch it.
I wasn't allowed out of the house. Thankfully, I had the Channel 4 was around when I was young.
Yeah.
Or as my brother likes to go, you weren't old enough to remember when Channel 4 started. You wouldn't have retained those memories. And I'm like, you're not that much older than me.
Oh, I feel old now.
But you two, Chris is the eldest apparently out here, Tony.
He is.
Does that ever get to you?
Minutes. No, I like being younger.
Gets all the girls, don't you?
Yeah, I'll never be as old as he will.
Mentally. Anyway, what are we looking at?
Now, hang on. Downsky's saying that he hears 3 of me's. I can hear like I'm hearing 3 Messis.
We sound like Messi.
Are you a long lost brother?
No, John's a long lost brother.
Was he? Oh,
yeah.
The Irish connection.
Yes, the Irish element of the family.
No, that's the thing. You weren't doing the Irish accent earlier, so you can stick and do the Irish accent. That won't be offensive at all.
You should do a Scottish accent. You should do Sean Connery.
It's better than Jern's Irish accent. That's rubbish.
That's fake.
Now, I would like to always come back with the same anecdote that I always do, which is going to get me arrested one day. A friend of mine needed me to phone someone. I'm not going to say which bank it was, and be using a Scottish accent to be them, and it worked. Let's just say that for the rest of the day I was walking around with a Scottish accent. So yeah, I'm gonna.
So you do the accent.
Yeah, yes.
That'll take care of one of them.
I do an accent. It's all you got to do to get into a Scottish accent is go, "Hey, Johnny!"
Billy Connolly's
Billy Connolly's here. There's 4 of us.
If you want to do an ab, you can only do an ab's wife. You go, "Ab, no, don't do it."
Yeah, I think you're better at this than we are.
Yeah.
Right, should we do License to Kill?
God.
Oh, okay, that's a
Find this
surprise.
now.
Okay.
Oh,
This
John
is-
Kavanagh. Oh God.
Now-
Marcus.
What are you looking? I can't see anything. I
Hit
don't.
Messi's box in the top there.
Don't look
Oh,
at my
God.
box.
What? I clicked this. No, just
Most
go on.
cancelled stream of 2023.
I've got Bob Ross turned up.
Can you see it now? Can you see my
Oh,
box?
what stream? Oh, there.
Can you-
God.
can you-
Yeah, where it says license to kill.
Look at an artist. Got no
Just
clue.
have a look at my nice box there.
Look
in
at
the
the
corner.
chunky
Click on it.
pixels.
1989. God.
See, I don't get these. Pixel art is very trendy and it's very popular and stuff. And we did pixel art because we had to, not because we thought it was stylish or anything. And now everyone's doing pixel art, and it's fine.
Rant over.
Do you feel like now is your turn to shine though? Then
Yes, I'm loving getting back into the pixel art, and plus also the editors are much
Hang on a minute,
better.
bro. Why hasn't ILL got highlights on it like everything else?
Why isn't what?
Well, license has all got highlights on the letters, but you didn't bother on ILL at the end.
oh my god,
Recall it.
on the
Recall
eel,
it.
on the eel. Hang on, maybe it's hang on. Maybe it's a light effect. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. And
No.
maybe it's pause and there's a transitional lighting effect
No, there isn't.
going on.
I didn't
Let's
know
click
that.
play.
Yeah.
And
Look,
look, there
look
is.
at that! Look at that!
Hey!
That moved. That was amazing.
So he was distracted by the little balls.
No, I told you I had to do 6 of these, 6 versions, so I probably ran out of time. Look at this front
That's
end.
stunning. Look at the graphics.
This is amazing.
No,
Yes.
Mark, there's a blast
That is
from the past.
Bond by Quixel.
Ran out of time, ship it.
All right, yeah.
Now,
Oh, I remember that going to Aldermaster to master that up. That was fun. God.
Oh, we used to race over there. John Kavanagh had a Peugeot 205. I had an MR2, and we just race to get to who could get to Aldermaston first.
Anyway, carry on.
Yeah.
I love just sitting. It's like a little earworm inside your head, sucking all your memories out.
Take long.
Fable fish.
We can forget about shilling the assets. By the way, exclamation
Brilliant,
mark
good,
West.
excellent.
Oh, in the chat.
How long
Now-
are we looking at this license to
I
kill
know.
screen?
It's like I'm waiting for the bloke. Was there music? Is there actually music going on, and that's why he's listening to
Yeah,
it?
David Whittaker did the music, didn't he? It's,
Yeah.
oh, what's his name? Whittaker's kid.
Okay, I can't have.
Roger.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you go. Oh, hang on. His name was just on the screen a second ago.
Yeah, David. Yeah,
Yeah,
Roger
yeah,
Whittaker's boy did the
Not
sound.
making it up.
What? As in,
Yeah, Flute Man. You know, he died recently.
you've got actual celebrities in your
Well, it's his son. It wasn't Roger.
I love it.
A whistle.
You know, your dad. Get in the corner and get us a cup of tea.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, look at that.
Oh.
Actually, look at it. Now, hang on a minute. I've got to say something here. You see, that's vertical scrolling on a Commodore 64 with a side panel. Now, you don't see that every day. There you go. Carry on.
When was Ikari Warriors? Was that before or after this?
Oh, around the same time, just before, I think. Ikari Warriors. John Twiddy did that, didn't he?
Did you share ideas with each other back in them days?
No, you didn't know anybody back then.
No,
You just literally.
no, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't see anybody.
No.
Occasionally, a computer show you go to, and you might see someone, but no, there was no. Well, as far as we could tell, we weren't invited to them. Maybe there were going on.
So did they just keep you locked in the shed, or
No, we worked from home in those days.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it was after this game. They sort of bought us out and brought us in-house to form the Kremlin, which was Domark's in-house dev team. But before that, all the games and stuff you did from your bedroom in like the good old-fashioned ways. Saving an office space.
They had to have an in-house team in order to get the Sega and Nintendo contracts. You had to have an in-house team. You couldn't subcontract out. Oh,
Look at that Uzi.
You can tell what that is by looking at it.
It was like an overlaid sprite to me.
Now, back in them days, you didn't have access to the internet, so how did you know what an Uzi looked like?
Oh, we had one. We had an airsoft Uzi
Yeah.
back then. Well, they say airsoft. It was one of those you had to manually pull the spring back and push it forward, and you had little bullets which you had to put the little pellets inside the little bullets.
Oh, that's great.
But it ejected the shells out the side, so that was fun.
So now look, this is gameplay stuff here, like having to aim to shoot. This was ahead of its time. Look at that.
You think you can't shoot anything?
Bloody impossible. Like, only had 16 directions you could shoot in. Yeah.
You can see that cannon fodder basically ripped you guys off, really, didn't they?
We were so.
Oh, everybody! Rocket League rips us off later on. And it's shocking. It's
Yeah, we should be millionaires.
I'm assuming you boys are millionaires. Although big games before the internet,
on the good life.
They had things like books, Messi. Did these the pub where you work in, and they go, okay, you're working from home, but here's a library of books that we're going to send to you. Here's a load of resource material.
You must be joking.
No, you got the wrong idea about these people. They just wanted to exploit these young kids that knew how to program computers.
I mean, Domart were better than all the others because the two guys that ran it, one was an ex-guards and one was from advertising or something. But at least they were nice, decent guys, and they were honest.
Pretty straight.
Yeah, all the others, it was just like, oh my god, they just rip you off. I mean, our first game, Risk, we did that. We got 500 pounds. That's all we got for it.
What?
Yeah, and then because we did the game and Softtech said they'd publish it, and they just took it as it was, and we had the name Risk on it because that's just a name we put on it. But it was their duty to check, and obviously there's a board game out called Risk, wasn't there? So Parker Brothers had that.
Completely unrelated, by the way. Risk was
it
was a helicopter game, wasn't it? Your Risk game, like Escape from Krakatoa.
No, it was a shoot 'em up, sideways shoot 'em up, defender type thing. But because Parker Brothers, they saw the game and they say, "A computer game, you got to call it something else." So the publisher charged us for changing the name of the game.
What?
And their legal fees because they didn't do their job properly. So we didn't get a penny out of the flipping game because he was such a dodgy character, Tim Langdale. He sued everybody all the time. You couldn't use the word edge anywhere in relation to computer games until the magazine Edge came out. You must know the Edge magazine. It's still going, I think. And they actually fought him in the courts to stop him because he put a patent or trademark on the word edge. And then he sued everybody who ever used it in a product. He made millions out of it. Eventually, he got stopped. He's a monk now or something somewhere.
He got punched out at one computer show by some programmer or other.
He
was a real charmer. Look at this game. It's all over in about 30 minutes.
This is still the first 5 minutes of the film, isn't it?
The film hasn't even started. The game's almost over. Now, so we do this, and then we jump to the end of the game.
Yeah, the very end.
For the tanker chase, which was added on as an afterthought.
So wait. The movie has a plot. The game does not follow the plot whatsoever because even though they've probably been given the script and everything, they didn't bother sending it to you. And at this point, you both are still working from home. So they could have, Royal Mail could have nicked it. Anything could have happened. Can't blame them completely. Dodgy postman. But did nobody say afterwards, like in the reviews, the game has got nothing to do with the film? Or did they go, this game is so loyal to the intro to the movie, you won't believe it?
It got quite good reviews.
Have you seen License to Kill? I mean, it's a crap film. There wasn't much going on. It's all love interests, and it was.
License to Kill is where his love interest is the cellist, isn't it?
No, that's The Living Daylights, wasn't it? That one. That's the first Timothy Dalton one.
Yeah.
License to Kill is. So which one was License to Kill?
That's the one where Felix Leiter gets killed by a shark and he goes on revenge to Colombia or something to get they're smuggling cocaine in.
It's the first Bond film where Bond bleeds. Did
you have bleeding in the game?
No, because we didn't know.
Didn't know about it then.
No one told us.
Well, they told us that, and then you go and watch from Russia with Love. He gets shot in that, and anyway, carry on.
There was no testicles.
I don't remember this part of the game. I don't remember right.
Anyway, blanked it all out.
There we go. That's the last bit of the film.
And here comes the tank. Oh yeah, you've got to jump on the tank and then chase.
Look at the AI. Look at that.
So how did you do the? So what is we talking about AI? Like what was going on here in the programming?
Not much.
It's just if this, do that. It's if it's in this position, there's something to the left or something to the right, move that way. It's not complicated. He didn't have the memory or the time, master time, to do anything else. Mind, this isn't too demanding on sprites. Oh, look at that.
Never seen a truck move like
Could you flip the truck by doing that, by getting the momentum swinging? Oh, he lost the
No.
trailer though. Look,
Oh
he
yeah,
lost-
no, yeah, you had to take them out.
Rocket launcher. Yes, all of this was in 2 days. All this whole level.
What?
Yeah.
This is God, didn't expect this. He didn't expect the Spanish Inquisition.
You
Thought
coded
we're
this
talking
in
about
2
assets.
days.
No, we stop and talk about assets.
Yeah.
Exclamation mark Chris West in chat. If you want to buy some assets, don't forget
don't.
Mega Shapes is on sale at the moment. Even though Chris like, don't mention the sale. It's on sale at the moment. You get it for 20 quid. Who can argue with that? Fully
No, you
tested.
get about 12 or something, don't you? Unity take it all. And then the tax man.
I was going to say, you take him about 4 quid from that 20.
Something like that. Yes. Anyway.
What's this game end? I can't remember how it ends.
So shall I?
Probably abruptly, I think.
Passport.
I want to see how you get past this level. Now, did you, whenever you submitted your game, and they arrived, was there anyone at the publishers that would go, oh, you know what, we're going to make some changes ourselves, or we're going to get another programmer to make any changes?
We had some play testers, but they were useless.
No, we just had John Kavanagh to sit with us and go, that'll do.
There's another one, John Kavanagh. He ends up being president of MGM or something, wasn't it? It's, in America.
No, he's back in the UK now.
Yeah, he quit, wasn't he? Or got fired or something. So, but yeah, another manager who didn't do anything but went up the ladder.
Oh, but
Not better at all.
He got us the end to
Yeah, true. Then we've skipped over all the early stuff. I haven't even done F-16 combat pilot.
Yeah.
Oh, we'll get to that. You're the ones who mentioned this.
Finished. Look at that.
No,
Congratulations on
well
defeating
worth playing.
Sanchez and smashing his evil drug empire.
How satisfying is that?
That's what you need at the end of the game. You don't need video cutscenes.
No,
you need white text with black highlights.
Some serious replay value there. You'd come back to that, wouldn't you?
So getting these graphics then on
What
the
the
Amiga
neighbour?
and the Atari versions and all that, how much of that effort was with you then, Tony? Like you the same amount of time it took you to do this, or offloaded it to someone else?
Oh no, I did them all. I honestly I can't remember. The Spectrum I always thought Spectrum was the hardest one because it was a different technique on the Spectrum to get the graphics. But
Spectrum's charming though, because you've got the nice bleeding colours.
Yeah, the character clash. Yeah. The Amstrad I never really got on with, although the palette was better on the Amstrad, if I recall. The Commodore 64 is a funny old palette. And the 2 groups of 8, you can't use the certain colours. It's an art form.
Oh my word! You know what? It'd be nice if somebody could actually force the restrictions of the bygone age as some kind of like asset to like force you to work in these modern
I think
ages.
Unity should do it. Should add it.
256 characters.
Big
the whole game.
feature. 16 colours. All colours in a character.
Let's see you make your fancy AAA games now with Unreal.
Yeah, then let's have a competition.
Yeah. Do a jam.
Exactly. The retro game jam where you're not allowed to use anything other than the old Spectrum that you found in the attic. Or that creepy guy.
Well, wait
who
till you
lived
see
down the street.
the Risk 2 when it comes.
Oh, that's the thing. I want to show people the Risk. What do we call it? Long play.
Oh yes, let's watch the whole thing, shall we?
Yeah.
No, don't.
You
don't have to.
What was it? 64? Was it? Was it?
Yeah.
Oh,
There it is.
There it is.
No, it isn't.
No, that's not. That's the real one. That's the real one there.
Yeah.
The one underneath. It's the no. That's an advert.
It's better than I remember it.
Now we had a question earlier.
It
They want to know: were you involved in the ET game on the Atari?
That's funny. Who posted that?
Now they said, "I'm not sure anybody is brave enough to admit that." But it
They're
sounds
worth a
like
fortune
Yeah,
now.
yeah, they dug them up, didn't they, or something? They found found a container full of them or something.
Yeah,
Didn't they? It's, yeah, they're worth. Oh, look at that.
I didn't do that.
No,
That
you
wasn't
didn't do
me.
that.
So
No.
that was
He got paid 50 quid to do that as well, didn't he? He got more money out of it than we did.
He did better at it than I did.
God, I remember that logo.
Mm,
So
Quality.
that made him more money by suing people than the games he actually made.
No, the guy who did the artwork for that.
Yeah, was it Wally Beeman?
Yeah, he pleaded with us that if he could do the artwork for the game. Somehow we said yeah, and so he got paid 50 quid. So anyway, oh, David Whittaker again.
Music by Hagar.
Yeah, Viking.
Sound effects by David. So I've been getting some whistling going on.
Shall we put the audio on to see if we're going to get myself copyright claimed?
Look at that little fella. Look at the wee little fella.
No, can you hear that?
Pointless.
Change the ship colour.
Can you hear that noise coming through on the share?
No, well,
I can't hear it now.
You can play back the stream later. You'll hear it. Or just watch a YouTube video yourself, you lazy buggers.
Well, I remember it.
I'll tell you how we went. Blip, blip, ba-doo, ba-doo.
Yeah. Colour splits. Look at all of those.
Now, if this was on the... So on the... Is there a Spectrum version of this?
No.
Because I would love to see this with him just going through and then suddenly turning green as he goes of his shit.
Oh, look at this. Interactive map.
Radar. Unplayable ship. Green ship on a green level.
Oh my word, look at this.
You've got to go up.
Is he not going to want to fly?
There was a bug in this that all the aliens would come along on the same level at some point.
Yeah.
So it was we think maybe the gravity was a little bit overdone in the early levels. You had to get an anti-gravity. Once you got anti-gravity, the game actually became playable. But there was probably a lot of rage quitting going on before that.
So how did you give us some coding secrets then from back in the day about how?
There you are, all lining up on that level.
Oh my god, look at that!
Yeah. Coding secrets. What do you have?
Give some tips to these people at home in their bedrooms wanting to what can we
do
take?
Commodore 64 programs.
Exactly, Commodore 64 gamers. So they want to be made.
Well, got to get yourself a good sprite multiplexer, which this didn't have. The next games after this got better, but because you only have 8 sprites on the screen on the Commodore 64, but you can change them. You can have a raster line going out at a raster point. You can suddenly switch it all to another set of positions and stuff, so you can get more sprites on the screen. And then you had the software bullets, so you didn't use the sprite up for the bullets. You had the shots, so software sprites. What else? You've got parallax scrolling. That bit at the bottom is scrolling at a different speed because that's on a raster split.
And a colour split. Different set of colours there.
Look at this! You've gone inside.
Oh,
as well.
you landed!
Well done. That was impressive.
That was a good land. Get the blueprint. Get the blueprint.
Irish is in shock with the 8 sprite limit.
Yeah, no, that was a thing.
You don't know how easy they've got it.
Yeah, it's easy.
When I were a lad.
Kids these days don't know they're born.
Got up before I went to bed, lick rug clean with tongue. Look at them all lined up, brilliant. Ah, dear.
And then you say you do these kind of things in 2 days, yet you can't join my game jams. What's the matter with you?
Because we've got a blooming other game to write, and
years. We want to do a game jam, don't we?
There's Jones jam sitting there. You could have joined and shared the love, but no. Yeah. Now we got a question from Big Gaming, not ET related. Did you ever want to move to a ranch with llamas and alpacas like Jeff Minter?
No, I didn't. We didn't like Jeff Minter. We didn't. Some of his games were right, but they were all too trendy, arty, druggy type things. I couldn't get on with them. So, I mean, they're good games. I'm not saying they're, but no, not really a fan of Jeff Minter.
No, but as in, not a fan of his games, but him personally. Did you have? Is this the vendetta, the West versus Minter wars?
No, we never knew each other, never met each other.
We played a few. What was there was one you had to draw lines around and stuff that we.
One called Matrix, wasn't there? That was one.
Yeah, that was
Attack of the Mutant Camels, Revenge of the Mutant Camels. It wasn't our sort of games.
We were way too straight to be, we're very boring.
All right,
No, that's not how you do it. That's not how you do it.
Pull down now.
Loser.
No, don't let it drop. You've got to pull down.
Oh dear.
Look
Got flied on.
Scrolling characters.
You're bemoaning the QA, the testers of your games, but
Testers?
That was us.
That was us.
I was going to say, like, you lads were according to your bios on Tinternet, you've got as many tester credits as you've got art and programming credits.
Have we?
What? Well, I think that's down to whoever has the website.
It's like, because you wrote the theme tune, sang the theme tune, tested the theme tune.
I did actually do some sound effects once, and that was on Super Space Invaders. I had no idea what I was doing at all.
Did you mean to? Take the sound
Well, no
effects,
one else was doing it, and they weren't going to get anyone in to do it. So it came to me to do them, and someone gave me this program, and you could change values. And so
Warren did it, didn't he? Warren.
I randomly changed values until something sort of sounded about right. So we use that for a gunshot, we use that for an explosion, I don't know what reviews it got for sound, but they can't have been very good.
Got a sizzler in that.
Did it?
Too bad.
Did it?
Yeah. I'll second the sizzler.
Did you used to hang out with the reviewers from the magazines?
No, never met. I met Julian Rignall from Zap years afterwards because he was working for Virgin in California, and when they were trying to get to sign us, they flew me and Raph over, and Julian Rignall was kind of like the PR chap. So I met Julian then. Other than that, we went to Future Publishing a couple of times to do interviews and articles, but we never really knew magazines.
Oh my word! Do you know what I got from that story?
What?
That you got to go and fly to all of these fancy places while your brother, who just does the art, gets forced to stay at home.
Well, no, we were being, because Philips were after us at the time in Virgin. So you drew the short straw, didn't you? You got to go to Philips in London, and Raph and I got to fly out to Los Angeles, get picked up in a limo, put up in the best hotel, and pampered and all that sort of stuff.
Makes you wonder why we went with Virgin rather than Philips.
What did Philips do for you? Take you down to Cadbury?
I think Richard Brown brought us a coffee.
Oh, there you go.
Wow. I mean, how often did that happen? But at
Philips, it was Julian Lynn
and he went to it. Yeah.
And then he bailed and then went to Virgin. So it was like
everyone went.
Might as well go to Virgin then. Everyone's going to Virgin. We'll go there.
It didn't happen often. Used to those days. E3 used to be on, so you used to go. Everyone used to save up all their money, the developers. So we'll fly out to E3 and we'll sign the deal over at E3. So you go out, we'll arrange to have meetings. So you go and see BMG or Virgin or Ubisoft or whatever, and you'd have a chat with them. And they say, "I'll tell you what we'll do. When we get back to the UK, we'll have another meeting."
So that was
thanks. We just spent thousands of pounds to fly over here, and they say we could have. Oh yes, that's all that nonsense went on. So.
I love that.
We were putting together a rally demo, weren't we? And it was like slogging ourselves to get this demo together, and then no one even wants to. "I'll show us when you get back. I've got no time now." And you can't hear anything anyway because it was so loud with those things. Yes.
Oh my word! I love the idea of you both jet setting around the world as game development royalty.
What? Again, you got the wrong idea here.
Yeah.
That is how it is in my head, and I will not have you both ruin it. I also have in my head the idea that actually, because Chris gets invited to all of the fun parties, and Tony has to stay in the cupboard, that sometimes Tony would intercept the invitation and wear, obviously, comb his hair in the other direction, which to make him look like Chris, and put his workman anorak on, and then go to the parties pretending to be Chris so he can go to Las Vegas. And then Chris wakes up and goes, no, I've got to go down to Barnet and have a cup of tea instead. That's what I imagine happened. Now tell me it's true.
It's true.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. There parties. We used to hate the parties. It
Oh, I
was
couldn't stand them. Oh.
'cause it was usually just all the producers at these parties, and the programmers and the actual developers were. I think we were sort of considered sort of like a second class.
We
They
were.
were. We were.
Okay, sorry, come.
No, but we were the guys actually making the games, which was making the company money, which gave all these other people jobs. But you were like, oh yeah, don't talk to them. They're just the coders and the graphic artists. And at Domar, they put us in the basement of
No.
this. They could all go in the basement.
Yeah, we weren't allowed
Um,
out, were you? You weren't allowed to go up to the floor.
no, and we had these little city windows at the top, which you could just see a bit of daylight out. And then upstairs had all these glamorous office where all the producers and the marketing and PR guys and stuff were sitting with great big windows they could look out on and stuff. And we were just dumped in the basement because we were
The
like very
cliched
unwashed.
in the base. It's a
Yeah,
real
it was
thing.
like it was the IT crowd. It was just
Yeah.
like don't go down and see them because God, they're dirty and all this sort of. I mean, to be honest with you, there were a bunch of characters in the in the Kremlin that went to Denmark, and there were some dodgy characters in that
Oh,
lot.
just a bit.
Are you allowed to? You're not allowed to say anything otherwise. Are you?
We had when we were in the Kremlin at Addleston, John Cree House in Addleston, the pits of Surrey. It really, I mean, I'm sorry if anyone lives in Addleston, but it really wasn't the greatest place. There was this constant stream of knocked off computers coming in the back window.
What?
And then they'd be cleaned up and shipped out the front window. And they give you an idea. The people that would steal these computers, they'd go around and that was the day when all the best computers they were making them smaller and more powerful and stuff. And they would go around and they would nick these. They go for the big ones. Oh, we got the big ones. So no,
Because good. You said, I can't afford the big one. I'll give you 20 quid for the small one.
I'll have the little one. I'll have that little laptop thing over there. Oh, okay. And they go, no, we've got this big one. Who wants the big one? And it was like some old bloody
286 or something.
Yeah, 286. So it was like no one wanted that. And then they bring them on, and it was and there were drugs being dealt out the windows. It was an entertaining place.
Never went down to that floor. It wasn't.
Yeah, that was the arcade floor, and that's where there was one lot of programmers down there.
Where was this place?
Addleston, sorry.
Hey, if anyone wants the address, hit us up after the stream.
It's Weybridge South, if you
Yeah.
it's like it was, but it was Addleston's the poor relation to Weybridge, and John Cree House was opposite this pub called the Holly Tree, and most nights because we used to work late and through the nights and stuff, and then all these fights would be kicking off outside this pub, and all our cars would park around the back of the office, and you'd worry that. There were people walking around with paving slabs, throwing them at people, and it was like, oh, and our cars. So that gives you an idea of the sort of place. And then they decided that Addleston wasn't the best place to bring journalists down to see games. So let's move us all up to Putney, to the head office, and we'll put them in the basement in Putney instead. Much better.
This doesn't seem like a very safe area for the journos to come.
No,
Don't worry about the developers. Don't put those animals
Yeah,
anywhere.
the boss of Sega come one day, didn't they? They were trying to make they had to dress the whole place up.
Everyone had to put your best clothes on and stuff.
They had to learn how to bow and all that sort of stuff.
Because Dominic Wheatley was very, 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 very posh, and his dad and it was Dominic Wheatley and
Dennis Wheatley, Mark Straw.
And Mark Straw, and they were both very sort of quite proper people and stuff. And yeah, we were like the plebs down in the basement.
Oh my word! Do you know what? This should be the TV show. No, I mean IT Crowd's great, but I would pay more. I would pay subscription fee for that one.
Right, but
there's some stories to tell from.
God.
Put your best clothes on. These are my best clothes.
You're right.
When we signed at Virgin for with them, we Rath and Steph and us, we went up there to sign this contract, and we were all, I think it was in the summer or something, and we had shorts on, and they said, no, you can't sign because we're taking pictures. You can't be dressed like that. We had to go to the clothes shop beforehand to buy some clothes so that we looked respectable in the publicity photos of signing for Virgin. It was
I'm gonna have to Google for those pictures. Are they Are they on the,
I,
on the, on
we-
the
I never
Wayback
saw
Machine?
them. Never saw
No,
them.
I've got one somewhere of the old
Did he?
King of the Jungle, that Photoshop and shoot thing we did for that. But what about that time when we got involved with the PlayStation launch? We were in all the newspapers and stuff because the twins developing games and all this sort of stuff in the new PlayStation, and then we went on telly to do an interview for one morning show, and then we got a phone call from the other morning show, so they wanted me and Tony on the show to do a makeover.
That's
yeah.
I've got to
And
find that.
No,
No,
we didn't do it. No,
They took Richard Stringfellow instead.
Yeah, we said we wouldn't do it. So they wanted us to turn up with greasy hair, Metallica t-shirts, and jeans with holes in. But we were wearing, Hugo Boss jackets and stuff at that time, all that nonsense. But they said, well, no, we weren't going to do that. So we blew them out, and they got Richard Stringfellow on instead of us for that one. So all that
no!
yeah, I know.
Oh,
What could have been?
it could have been so beautiful. The greasy gamer twins. Oh
Goth
my
look.
word!
We never were the typical sort of stereotypical programmers and artists. We had a lot of them in the Kremlin and in Denmark and stuff, but we kind of
Neil
weren't.
Harding, bless him.
He was greasy, yeah.
And whenever you I always think of you lads now as in the middle of Russia, covered in snow, in these big furry coats.
Kremlin, yeah.
And the Kremlin letterhead, didn't even have a picture of the Kremlin on it. It had a picture of St. Peter's Church because they just thought that was the Kremlin or something.
What?
So they put the wrong building on the logo.
And then they put the wrong fax number on. They had to throw it all away, didn't they? All the paper.
Didn't throw it away. We took it.
We took it, yeah. Like we took the brass plaque off the front of the building when we left.
We weren't the only ones. We had this lovely brass plaque with the same logo on the front of John Cree House in Haddleston. And people would come out of the pub and they think, that's a nice brass plaque with the Kremlin written on it. I'll have that. In the end, Denmark worked out it's probably best to put a plastic sign up rather than keep getting a brass one printed. So,
It's for all of our budgets gone on plaques again.
How many of these?
This month.
Can't pay you for any of the games, but here's a plastic plaque to make up for it. All right, lads? Oh my word! Chat saying a lot of comments in chat about how beautiful you both are, and I got one from Travel the World 604 says, "I'm glad that Irish John Games told us about this stream. I'm not a gamer or a coder, but I find this very interesting."
Oh, thanks, Travel.
Thank you.
Thank you for streaming with Tony and Chris West.
Thank you. Lovely person.
Now, I love the fact that Travel's like, normally I wouldn't listen to this show for this nonsense, but for once I find that these guests are very interesting indeed. May I watch only them from now on? Is that an option?
Well, if you pay us. Yes.
And your next guest. Who's on next week?
If you scroll down to the chat, you'll find I would donate to a Kickstarter for that.
You're welcome.
So, what we need to do is get a TV show set up, which is not the IT crowd, but I don't know, the Gamer Twins. I don't know. We're gonna.
Well, no, with all the characters that are on Twitch, we've got to know over the last year. John, Bardaki, Clayman, Science, all the rest. There's enough people there to make a pretty interesting chat. Forum.
That's what Twitch is, isn't it? Just go on Twitch and watch it all.
Don't take away the idea I'm going to go to the TV studios with. You get? But Coda renames the channel to the West Bros.
West Bros with Messi Coda.
Hey, but you know what? As long as I collect the paycheck, I'll get you monkeys to do all the whole work. That's how it's supposed to be. From what you're saying, isn't it? Now, we should really show off some of the new game and talk about the new game that you're going to work on. But I can't do that without first going back in time once more to what is it? 1980? what 90? What was the Street Racer on the
Oh,
NES?
straight 94, 95.
94, yeah, 94.
So that was after Road Rash or before Road Rash?
I think Road Rash had already been out by then.
Yeah. So you
Mario
basically
Kart had been out for a couple of years.
So you looked at Mario Kart, you looked at Road Rash, and you
No,
were
we
like,
didn't.
let's just steal, put them together.
No.
Oh, Street Fighter, Mario Kart. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, that was Mev's original sort of concept. Let's
Yeah.
do blend Street Fighter with a sort of art game and stuff. So okay, because we at that point, people when we to get
That's
into,
right.
Street
You may
Fighter, we were still working at Domark, and we had a bit of a falling out. They replaced the
Ooh.
manager at Domark for someone who we didn't think should be manager. So
What, the
we said,
drug-crazed drunk idiot?
no, don't
Oh.
get into that. Ed.
Oh.
So we said,
No.
we're leaving. We're not having this. And they said, oh, look, come on, just give it a month, see how it works. So we gave it literally 30 days. On the 30th day, we walked in and said, well, we've done a month. We're off. And a friend of ours, Surav, who's another artist, he was working on Second Samurai.
No.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
sorry if I said something.
Oh,
Oh.
hit a nerve.
No.
Hit a
That's
nerve.
so good. Oh, yeah, that's a good game.
Yeah, with
Oh.
Raph. Raph was coding it, and Surav was doing the graph. And he said, and then they were looking for someone to do Street Racer. So it just happened that was exactly the right time for us to sort of jump on board on that. So that's how we got into Street Racer.
Oh my word. Second
This was done in the
Samurai.
bedroom.
Everyone's getting
I
back
tell you
Street
what.
Racer, and I'm going, Second Samurai. Let's talk about that for an hour.
This I think it's one of my favorite games that we wrote. This just it kind of just worked and everything. It just really enjoyed doing it and having it was a great laugh just sort of coming up with the characters and designing them and then designing the tracks to go with them and
But then we got,
weapons.
was it The Guardian did a story on it, didn't they? Saying how outrageous this game was because it was completely racist. Because every character they've got the skinhead in the blue car.
Yeah,
they've got
Biff would always pick on one of
The black guy.
on Sumo San. He would always
Yeah.
pick. You could tell it's all racist. It was
Yeah.
like
We coded all this into this game to be a
Yeah,
racist game. It's laughable.
Wow,
There
so
you
he
are.
basically sat down and read whatever he wanted into it, thinking that's how coding is.
And did a story in The Guardian on it. So
you
obviously
got to understand
PR.
how coding
And you
works.
didn't have to. This was nice in that it was made for the SNES, and you didn't have to port it to anything else.
It got
No,
ported.
it did get
We
ported to.
to
yeah.
Sega Genesis,
But
the Game Boy.
were you doing all of the ports as well then?
No, we
No,
left by then.
I did the graphics on the Mega Drive and I helped on the Mega Drive because there was no one else to do the graphics. But no, we decided then because Street Racer was a bit of an we kind of worked out how much money we should have been being paid and earning and stuff, and I know we signed a contract, but
Come and tell me that. I'm like, what? You sat and did the analysis of basically how much you were being gypped.
well, no, a friend of someone else who was working at Vivid Image at the time managed to get hold of the contract that Mev had signed with
Very
Ubisoft.
diplomatically put.
And and then in there was how much he was getting for basically just being sort of the middleman, and he had the original idea of let's do a Street Fighter type game and stuff. So he was getting all this money from Ubisoft, and then we were getting this sort of like percentage of a percentage. And it was like, well, yeah. So we thought, hold on, why we're slogging our guts out to make him money and Ubisoft money and stuff. So after that, it was like, well, we're going to start our own studio. That's when we got into doing King of the Jungle, because it's like, well, we want to be the guy taking all the money and stuff rather than someone being exploited again. It was just computer games were just exploitation. It was like the early days of the music industry, except these days they've all gone back and sued them and got their contracts rewritten and claimed all the royalties that they should have had and all this sort of stuff. But that didn't happen in the computer games. It's a bit sad, but not bitter.
Not bitter.
And the thing is, right, that makes me even more sad because these are like people that you're working with that you regarded as friends at the time, and they were like knowing that they're actually ripping you off?
Well, we didn't obviously know that until
No, but they
afterwards,
did.
but oh
Yeah.
yeah. But but I tell you what, we had a blast doing Street Race. So that was hard work though, because again, there was some strict deadlines on that, and Ubisoft was so hot on testing. They had to be, because Nintendo would not allow you to publish if there were any bugs in it at all. And they would just spend hours and hours and hours with these team of testers, and the fax machine would go, and you go, oh god, here we go. Here's the next round of bugs coming through. And it was just
Brilliant football game. It was the cause of most of it, wasn't it? The replay on the football was
replay.
great.
They had the replay running for constantly playing it. They play it for hours and just had the replay. And then like 50 minutes into this replay, there would be that didn't happen in the actual thing. So there's oh really? Are you serious? We got to try and work out. Well, not me. Chris had to do it. My job was done. I just had to sit there and watch.
Obviously, this football.
Way ahead of its time.
Way ahead of its time, and you're not bitter at all about
completely unplayable.
Other games ripping the idea off. But I want to know about, in general, like this game, right? How on earth do you make a game like this on a machine like the game? Was it a Game Gear you pointed it to as well? The Mega Drive?
No, Game Gear. Well, Game Gear turned into a plan view, I think, of this. But this, I mean,
this feels like it's 3D. Like, how do you?
Because Mario Kart did the same thing. The thing about this, everyone compares this to Mario Kart, saying, "Oh, well, it's not as good as Mario Kart." Well, it probably isn't, But Mario Kart had a 16 megabit cartridge. This had an 8 megabit cartridge. So we had half the memory. And Mario Kart had a special custom processor on the cartridge as well to do the Mode 7 and the 3D calculations for all the where all the cars and things go. So we did that on half the size of memory and without the custom processor. And I think I told John the story that when it came out, Nintendo said, "Well, how did they do that? Better get them over so we can have a chat, so they can tell us how they did it." So we had to tell them how what tricks we used to get, especially the 4-player mode, because that had never been done before. 4-player.
You didn't tell them that for free, did you?
No, we didn't really tell them. In the end, it was just sort of we did this, and it didn't really tell them because it was just nice of them to ask about it. But it's
did they fly over to Japan to ask you?
No, it wasn't actually Japan at the time. It was Nintendo in the UK. So it didn't cost them anything. But it's still nice of them to ask us there to have a chat about it.
Yeah, technically, it's a very, very clever game. It's and it's come with, as I say, with the memory. It's got all these tracks and all these characters, and a football game and a rumble game. It was well packed in.
Chat wants to know: are there any techniques from your old, from coding in the Commodore or on the SNES that you are actually transferable, like that you could use, and maybe that you're using yourselves even?
Well, you see, because I'm coding wise, I'm totally self-taught. I never did any degrees or courses or anything. So I learned assembly language on the Commodore 64, and because of because they had so much memory. When I code now, I panic about having a little array, a 1K array of some values or something. I think, oh my god, it's so much memory. I still think to myself, well, is that okay? Or if I've got 100 objects in the game scene, I think, well, that's a lot of game objects and that, but it isn't. But so I have this mindset where I kind of worry about this sort of. But it does. I code very simply. There's a whole load of stuff I probably don't know about C#. And I watched John programming, and he's using all these fancy lambda things and stuff. And I thought, well, that's quite clever. I don't know how that works. So I'm sitting there going, I wish I knew a bit more sometimes. But what I know.
Oh, the phone. There's another. What?
I'm useless.
I thought you knew what you were doing.
Well, no, I know enough to do what I want to do. Sometimes you learn something new because you have. I mean, John was talking about enums the other day. It's people asking about. I learned enums at the point when I needed them. Because you've gone through the whole game development stuff and you put the magic strings and the magic values in, and you've come across the problem they cause when you change something or you put a lowercase letter in the magic string, and you can't. You spent 3 days trying to find the bug that's caused, and you get to that point in your code, you think there must be a better way of doing this, and then you go and find that solution. You look it up and think, oh, enums, that's the answer to that. Perfect. So I've learned things that I've needed to learn as I've needed to learn them, instead of trying to learn the whole of the C# language set. So there's a ton of stuff I don't know. So, but at this point in my programming life, I've got enough to do what I want to do. So, if you are learning, if you're starting out, don't worry about learning the whole lot. Just do it. Just start coding. Just start playing with it, and you'll make mistakes, yeah. But that's the whole part of the fun of it, I think, is to learn that you see that mistake. Going back, when I write stuff, I write everything 3 times at least, because I write it to start, get it working. You proof of concept, you get it working, no matter how slow it is, whatever. It's working. Then you go back and say, right, I could do that better. We do that, blah, blah, blah. We rewrite that, you get it working better, faster, more options or whatever, just like a couple more features. And then once that's done, you go back and you write it properly. And so everything I write, I probably do it 4 or 5 times in some cases. Like the physics in the game, we're doing this game here, it's been through so many iterations, because I've got to a point, it got to the end, yeah, it's working, but I could do this. And that would be a bit better. And I've just converted it all over to jobs and stuff to make it 5 or 6 times faster. So yeah, you just do bits as you learn, as you would need to learn them. Do it then, instead of trying to learn everything straight away. Like when you watch, I go onto Twitter or Twitch or whatever, and you look at all the games, amazing games that people do. Little demos of amazing, character controllers or really cute gameplay things. Oh, I wish I could do that. But what you haven't seen, those guys have spent a year probably getting to that stage, or 6 months or 3 months to get to that point. So, but some people worry that I'm never going to be that good. But you don't have to be that good as the whole of Twitter. You just have to be as good at what you're doing as you need to be at the time, and then you will get better at everything you do on that. So, anyway, I've gone off on a tangent on that one.
I that's a lovely motivational speaker, and Big Gamer kind of describes it in a way that I haven't seen before. Fog of War, coding like fog of war, just what you need when you need it.
Yeah, exactly. You can get swamped down with the technical details of C# or any programming language, because there's so much to it. But most games, you'll probably use 20 or 30% of what the language can offer, and the rest of it you'll just Google it or chat GTP it these days or whatever.
Oh, don't get me started on that. Oh, do not get me started on that. It will be a 6-hour stream of my ranting. Oh, forget about Tony complaining about Chris getting invited to Japan and pretending that it was Nintendo UK and wasn't really in Tokyo.
I didn't say it would.
Oh my word! Hey, I want to see your screen in a moment. I want to see a little sneak peek if we can. Do you know what? We were going to do load up Unity, go through the assets and show them off. I was going to try and break it. But we'll have to do it. We're gonna have to do another stream for that one. So you probably have to come back and do another one because we just have so much time. And as Stream said, the chat was saying that you've so much history, worked with so many different games that we need another stream even to talk about another 5% of what you've worked on in the past. We got a question here though. How much did Street Racer sell? Did they even let you know about that?
It's sold. They with cartridges, it was a different ballgame because you had to put a lot of money up front to get all the cartridges made. It was not like just copying a disc and cassettes and stuff. So you had to commit to a certain number. And I think they committed to, was it 300,000?
300,000, yeah.
And they sold them all. So, but then they didn't, I don't think they wanted to commit to another 300,000. So there are 300,000 versions of Street Racer out there somewhere. I think I've got about 10 of them here. So.
The thing about Street Racer as well, that when it came out, we were watching back in those days. If you wanted to know what games were selling, you had to go to CFAX to look up the charts.
Oh, CFAX!
Yeah, so the Gallup charts would be on there. And for that year that Street Racer came out, we just had to bring up the CFAX page for the Gallup charts for the best-selling games. And at number 2 was Doom, and at number 1 was Street Racer. So we took a photograph of that. So we had the #1 Christmas game that year, which was quite pleasing. Ubisoft were quite happy with that.
Were your family proud of you?
My mum never has a clue what we do. She still doesn't have a clue what we do. My dad didn't really have an idea what we did either. It's my mum. When my mum comes and stays with me, sometimes she comes and I'll be here in front of my computer. I'll be watching, say, Irish John or something, or testing the game. And she comes and she sneaks in standing behind me and says, "Why aren't you working?" I said, "What? I am working." So, "Oh, you're playing games." So, yeah, she doesn't got a clue what we do.
Still to this day.
Yeah.
I love it.
She's
beautiful.
92, so bless her, but
my
hasn't got a clue.
word. It's beautiful. You're mentioning earlier about like picking up tricks and learning things from watching watching Irish John stream. By the way, give an exclamation mark SO, shout out at Irish John Games in the chat, please, because if you are wanting to learn how to code, you can do a lot worse.
It's the best place to go.
Just
I love it. I watch it every
stream.
day.
It's like a little mini university. It's like what do they call it? Open University. That's it. That's the word I was trying to find.
Yeah.
Twitch University.
It's a free programming course. It was so much fun phoning around
every day.
Yeah. It's and he's so friendly. You ask any question, he'll answer. He's in the middle of doing his game, and somebody will ask a question about E-nums the other day, and he just stops what he's doing and then just shows off. He's just so nice and friendly. It's so nice. It's nice to be involved in a tiny little way doing the flags and things for his game, because I forced myself upon him. Yes.
Ty Prince says, I have given up trying to explain the difference between playing and making games to my girlfriend. Wow. Let's just say, when it comes to your partners, don't even try to win that argument and that debate. Just as long as your partner likes playing computer games and you spend enough money buying them the games that they want, then just smile and walk away. Smile and walk away. Badaki says, benefit of making a game is that you can play it all the time. Yeah, not when it's full of my bugs. Now let's share the screen, because people are saying there is a talk of some sale asset, as in windy, blowy on a ship sale, not as in the $20 sale, which is exclamation mark Chris West. If you click on that, you can always go to Mega Ships, although don't have to buy it. Apparently, you should really don't go off and buy it, but it's $20. You should do. But also, if you type in McSpeedy, you get a link to their Ages of Speed website, which is McSpeedy.com. There's also a link to their Patreon, because they need to feed themselves, apparently, and they won't work with a publisher to get loads of money.
No, because
once bidden, 32 times bidden, twice shy. They've learned a lesson. So if you want to be able to help them feed themselves and make their game, then why don't you pop over to Patreon, click that link in the chat, and throw some money their way.
Don't have to.
No, don't bother.
I mean, don't have to. Of course, they don't have to. It's not like they've got their house taken away from them if they don't. I'm trying to shield for you guys.
We won't go into the whole racing legends until stream number 3 or something. Yeah.
Irish John Games. I have a jar of dirt. There you go.
Jar of dirt, that'll do. I'll take it.
You don't have to, but we're not going to stop you. I want to know what Terry Thomas would say of you both. What he would think.
Absolute shower.
Now this is full sale, which is also available on the Unity Asset Store. You can buy it if you want to. It is available. Not on a sale at the moment, but it is a full sale.
What you did there.
Oh my word!
Genius, that is genius.
Not Terry Thomas level, but
Uncle Ben Teens is a genius. Yeah.
I like to say one thing though. The first click, right? The first click doesn't aim. Right? I thought it was my poor aiming. But
he's off on one now.
Yeah.
Look, watch this.
I'm
Right,
off.
first click. I'm going to click down here. First click. Oh, no, it didn't work this
Ah!
time. Oh, it worked this time. Oh,
Yeah.
because I stopped and started it. So,
Operator
There
error.
you go. Nah, it's because I stopped and started it. It worked then.
Oh,
That's
look
awesome.
at that. That's amazing.
Look at that. This is
Yes.
lovely. Look at the size of
Oh.
that hole.
Look, it makes
It's
it ripple
going, it's
even
going
as a
through
hole
the
there.
same. Ah, yeah.
Before, when I was
Can't
playing
stand 'em.
about, okay, I didn't realize it, a skull shape with the sail
You
behind.
did. It was quite impressive.
It was not Pepcac Irish. Don't give me Pepcac, good for you. And if I right click, I can stick a bit of cloth on it. You're
You
telling
can.
me. This is lovely. Look at this. No, it's a shame there's no games out there that use this technology.
I know. If only somebody could. It's,
If only there was a
yeah.
game. Exclamation mark. Oh, what's that noise on my door? The bloody cat. Exclamation mark. What's that noise at the door? It's the bloody cat. Exclamation mark. Write a poetry. Please, chat.
Because this was written for John. Because I felt guilty when I was watching the stream and he was complaining about the work he had to do for the sales. And I said, there must be a better way of doing that. And I thought I'd found a shader, a free shader online. I think I sent him the link to it and then found out that it wasn't what it claimed to be. So I felt so guilty that I sent him a fake link. I thought, I'd better have a go at writing a sales shader. So over the next week and a half or 2 weeks, came up with this. So he kindly put it in the game. So,
Are you credited?
I don't want credit. No, I don't. We don't put our names on the games anyway. I mean, if you look at Street Racer, you won't see our name on that game, apart from a little timing box that comes up that says "Timing by Westbros." I don't like putting my name on things really.
No one cares.
Don't even read the reviews when they come. I've got a box full of magazines of all the reviews of our games. I never read them. So
Irish says you're both credited, so you're in.
oh.
Too late. Too late. You're credited.
What did I do?
Yeah, what do you do? What did he do? Bugger all.
Okay, look. Oh, chatter straight in there. It is okay. Why do the cells move when you shoot a hole? In the hole?
Yeah. It's a shader. What do you want?
Now I can answer
I
that
could
question.
put a
No,
shader.
wait. I can answer this question. Now you're Go. What happens is the force of the ball moving
Yeah, the wind.
causes
the wind.
wind, right? And the wind then moves the cell move. If you know physics, then they'll answer your question. All right, mate? There you go.
The life of a programmer and testers. Gosh.
Have you been testing any games that you haven't actually programmed? Like, did you get paid, or are you working in the teams and you're like, all right, give it to Chris, give it to Tony, let them test it, and then we'll send it out?
I did a few years ago, simple things that people would send and you test it for a bit. But to be honest, I'm not really a game player, so I don't think I've played a computer game. I think Mafia was the last one I played when that came out. So I'm more fun writing it than playing games. So caps off.
So basically, be nicer to the people who are testing yours, man.
Yeah. Difficult sometimes.
What's the best? Because you're not now. Unfortunately, you're saying that you don't check out the reviews of your games that you've worked on in the past, right? But what's the best review that you've had on your assets that you like? Like, you know, the most. And I mean, like the nicest. It's like, oh, that was so lovely. It was the best asset. It made my game wonderful. I mean, like, you know, like you look at it, you go, what the hell were they thinking when they wrote that review? Have you got some nice stories that you've got?
Oh, nice. So I don't know. You get a lot of bad stories. You get so much. Actually, everybody threatens you with a review if you don't add something or something. You know, you release an asset that it doesn't do this. I'm going to give you a 1-star review if you don't add this in, or you don't do this, or you don't make it work in this specific situation. So I get a lot of those, which is always great fun. And then you get the people who want you to finish their game for them because they've got your asset in it. And it said, it was working before you.
But I paid £20 for your asset.
Yeah. It's could you do this, and this, and then I might give you a 5-star review. No, well, I think I won't bother. Thanks. But it's you've got assets on the asset store. You know what it's like. Sometimes you want to help everybody.
Mine don't do anything.
I'm going to interview you and test your asset out and see if I can break it. It can be soul destroying sometimes when you. And the thing about the Unity asset store is, it's great because Unity will now charge a monthly fee for their stuff, so they can continue to earn.
Oh yeah,
I can sell an asset 10 years ago, and I've got to provide support 10 years down the line, free support. And if you suddenly don't provide the support for somebody who bought the asset 10 years ago, and you've probably done 100 emails with them over the years, they can still turn around and stick a 1-star review on this and I sent him an email and he never replied. Seems a bit unfair sometimes.
They do seem to, apparently from what I hear, if you are going to complain, somebody give me an unjust review, they will go and remove it.
It's
apparently.
Anyway.
I've heard.
But I don't get many reviews.
Do you know what though? It's you get a lot of reviews. It's a bit depressing that some people have to come up with their own solutions. People go, okay, this asset now is the version for 2023, and there'll be no further updates. And if you want updates, then you've got to buy my next one at full price again.
Well, but for Megafires, that's 11 years old now, and it was only last year that I did the new Megafires. But up to then, it had 300 updates on Megafires over these, adding new features and improving it, all of which I didn't charge for.
Yeah, that's your own fault.
But then when you do release an all new version, it's got it's using jobs and burst, and it's got completely rewritten.
How dare you charge me for that?
How dare you? I bought the original asset. I should get this one for free. Well, you've got to make money sometimes.
I bought your original asset 11 years ago. I've never used it in a project.
Yeah.
How dare you charge me for a new one that I, again, will never use in a project, but will have paid money for?
It's a laugh, anyway. But there are plenty of nice people as well. So you do get plenty of nice reviews and plenty of emails saying, thank you. I wouldn't have been able to do my game without it and stuff. So that's nice. So yeah.
Stuff like that. I've in all the years I've been doing this stuff, I've received quite a few death threats, which is always nice. And now I know where you live. I'm going to burn your house down. Which you go, thank you very much. Thank you for sending me your invoice, and now I've got your address as well. But one I got was I followed your tutorials and your videos, and the project that I did got me a scholarship to university.
Oh,
that I wouldn't have been able to afford to go to without that thing. I'm bloody hell.
Yeah, that's nice.
And there's that kind of you've got people who are using your assets. Then in other ways, they would never have been able to accomplish what they wanted to be their dreams to come true. Must make you feel great.
Yeah, you made a difference to somebody's life from your work, which isn't. Yeah, that's kind of what we want to happen all the time. It's yeah.
I don't get reviews.
It's all about you, isn't it?
No,
I was going to say, does the artwork in these assets, is that Tony? Is that Tony doing the art?
There we go. Finally.
Yes.
But is Tony,
that wasn't downloaded off the internet at all.
Does Tony get any of the recognition? If we look at the full rig,
I drew the covers.
You did do the covers. You did all the
do the pages.
You made the tankard. You made the table. You made the books.
Candle,
yeah. Fair enough.
Doubloons. Yeah, so shut your face.
Tony, did you do these?
Yeah, you did all of those.
Yeah, I did all those.
Because chat again, this looks beautiful.
It does.
If you hold the end button down and move the mouse, then that other beam will move and the ropes will all move with it.
I hold the N button down.
M key. Hold the M key and then move the mouse.
M for mother and N for November.
Oh, unless you haven't updated the asset. If you haven't there you go.
M for mother.
all those will move around with.
I thought you told me that there was a bug if I pushed the button.
I did, but I fixed it. It was John's fault when he did the input wrapper. He made a slight mistake which stopped the thing. I fixed it. It's all right, John.
Yeah,
Don't panic,
yeah.
John. I won't hold it
Don't
against you.
panic!
Muppet.
Now, I would like to say that when people look at this, yeah,
Stretchy rope.
they go,
Shut up.
look at this, but they don't think, oh well, think all of the code that does this. They look and they go, doesn't this look beautiful? Yeah, it's got Chris West's name all over it.
And Tony.
Well, it doesn't, though, does it?
He's
Doesn't.
blubbing.
It doesn't. It's got your name on the asset store, right?
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? I'm going to bed.
Like, so, have you requested before a little bit more acknowledgement, Tony, and it's been ignored? Like,
I really don't care. For me, it's just I do graphics for myself, and if I like them, that's all I care about. Not if anyone else does, that's great. People don't. Well, I don't.
well, no, they love it. They think your artwork is fantastic. They just thought that Chris did it all. They didn't realise that it was you.
No.
I do some graphics occasionally, but they don't look very good.
Since you
boxes.
lost the coin toss, right? Have you given up all of your previous artistic skills?
Who, me?
Yes, he has.
Yeah.
You should see some. I don't know if you're going to show any of them, but if you see some of his cars and things that he does for his demos, you'll soon see that he's not really cut out for it.
Which ones? Hang on a minute. Was Mega Flyers your Chris artwork, or was that Tony's?
Tony did that. Yeah. He did the phallic rockets.
That was very phallic. Oh my word! Exclamation mark West, by the way.
It's
See, look.
Disney shit.
Let me just point out exclamation mark West in chat because it's both the boys, yeah? Even though it's got Chris's name on the tin, both the boys. I'm going to say both of the boys. Right? Put that in chat. This is very phallic, indeed. I mean, look at this.
It's a rocket.
Gorged rocket.
I mean, look at that one.
What's wrong with your rocket?
It's all flopping all over the place. Oh, my word.
It's going to blow. It's going to blow.
Oh, it's very steamy as well. Oh, my word. I could watch this all day long. Although, what is this one hollow? Why can you see through it?
Yeah, Tony didn't make the door fit correctly.
I didn't know he was going to blow them up when I modelled them.
Well, you should have welded the door there. He didn't weld the door.
I thought I did weld. No, it doesn't matter. It's not importante.
I bet I'll probably get a 1-star review.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I could see through his walls. You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
Doors off, absolutely. Classic.
Egon wrote and knock off a star for that.
He would.
I like this one. This is a nice chubby one. That's nice.
You like a chubby one, do you?
Oh, that's
Okay.
nice. I love that one. It's working in a job system after all, chat say. It's using the burst compiler too.
It is 40 times faster than the old version. So there you go.
How many people have you had
Thanks,
using the old
Mels. Hang
version?
on. There's a comment here from Mels, which I think we need to focus
Oh,
on.
here you go.
Tony does
That was an artist
insanely
comment.
beautiful work. That's very intelligent and well observed. I think you're absolutely right. Just didn't want to push it.
Artist.
So
Because
Good
someone
true.
else
Club.
picked up on that.
It's so
I'm gonna
true.
watch
So
the chat.
true indeed. Has anyone contacted you who are using the old Megafiles and saying it's not fast enough? I need to have burst.
No, I don't think I've ever had an email from anybody who said they couldn't use it in their project because it was too slow. So, it's being used by some big. I mean, Microsoft bought a load early on.
All hail Microsoft, by the way.
Yeah,
The new
it took me 6
overlords.
months to get payment out of them, but they bought a load.
Do not. They're very busy. There's a lot of different departments. They're a hard-working company. Okay, yeah, nothing wrong with Microsoft. Whatever they do, they are amazing and perfect. All
okay.
hail the new overlords.
Right.
There's some history here.
Yeah, there's something going on. We don't know that.
They've just bought us out. So they're the new.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yes, yes.
I now work for them. So yeah, no, Microsoft.
Pay your bills on time.
Yeah. Don't worry about paying the West boys on time. Just make sure you pay me on time.
Well, I in the end, it took 6 months before they even acknowledged that they'd got the licenses, and then I'd send them in. Well, you owe me this much, and then they say, yeah, okay, we'll pay you, and then another 3 months will go by. So in the end, I send them every week. I send them a new invoice with the late fee penalty added on top of it. So it was adding up nicely. And so I was quite happy with them not to pay it because they knew they were going to pay eventually. But it went, I think it almost doubled with the late fee, which I charged on top of it because they just wouldn't pay. So
What? And they didn't contest the late fee.
no, because it's a US law. I looked it up online and stuff. What happens if you don't get paid? And you say legal action in America is there's a certain percentage you can add on for every day after 30 or 60 or whatever is in the initial contract.
Lovely.
It's late. And so, yeah, every week I send them a new invoice, and it was eventually they paid it. So I was quite happy with that.
Oh, it was a shame they paid it on time. So
Well, I know, I was hoping they'd carry on for a bit longer. But
they don't complain about it. They did you a favour, like I
Yeah,
told
I
you,
know.
Mike. All hail the new overlords.
Yeah.
They knew that you needed the extension done. Now let's have a look at. I want you to. Are you able to share us a little sneak peek of your screen? While you say yes to them.
I can show you some old stuff. I'm not going to show you the really new. Well,
whatever you're going to show me, I'll be happy with. I mean, Tony, you're going to send us more stuff later when he's not watching. Okay.
Me?
I'm trying to get you both. I'm trying to get you both off to fight against each other, but it's not really working. But while you get ready to show it, what are we going to give away as a gift? We're going to give away a present, aren't we?
Yeah. We can give away a copy of Full Rig. We can give you a copy of Full Sail, Texture Studio.
Hang on, you choose one. Choose one. Do you know what? I don't want to give away too much because I want you to come back. Right? So yeah, there's dirty animals in the chat. No, what do you want to give away? What do you think's the most?
We can do those.
What will be the most useful to you when you're making your game? Of all your assets, what are you using the most?
Megafiles.
Yeah. Well, but the thing about I mean, they're all quite niche assets. They're not like these wonderful procedural worlds and all that stuff, which can be used in virtually every game you ever make. You can probably use them. I mean, our stuff tends to be quite narrow. What can be used for, because Megafiles, you can do some great stuff because it's all based on the 3ds X Max modifier system, which is obviously what's used to make all the great models and Max and stuff. But you probably need a bit of coding in there to get the most out of it. Because if you push right once to get that red and white ship in the middle, and then you press the up key.
Oh!
Okay, and then let it go up a bit and let it drop. When it lands, it does the squash thing, which is one of those sort of 7 principles of animation. Squash, stretch, and stuff.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, so that's what it's kind of useful for if you need to bend stuff.
Oh.
But it's all quite you kind of need a specific need. It is not like something I can put this in every game I write. So
can't you let the winner just choose what?
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Well, there you go.
I was just waiting for you to get to that stage. But you obviously weren't going to, so I had to throw that in there.
There you go. Yeah, so
you got one of the clever ones in the family.
Yeah.
Badaki says Full Sail can be used in any sailing game. But do you know what? You could use Full Sail in more than just sailing. You could have.
I'm sorry. I keep saying I've got to do that. Yeah. Sorry. Apologies. I'll do it. Don't worry. I'm on it. Sorry. Yeah. Anyway, carry on.
What have I missed?
Bardahi's doing a great game, which is battles, wars throughout the ages and stuff. And one of them has got some sailing ships in there, and he's using, I think, the Sinti ships.
Oh my!
And he needs the sails working on that, but they need to be done in a certain way. I said I'd do it for him, and I've been a very bad boy.
Bardaki.
One star.
Yeah, I know.
Exactly. I was about to say put 1 star on that, mate. You could use it on the exactly Irish. I was thinking a clothesline. Clothesline.
Yeah, I did it. Mel's wanted a clothesline. Because in the cafe scene in the game, we've got an alleyway, and Tony's put a whole load of tablecloths hanging up because it's an Italian scene, and So the first sort of cloth shader I wrote was to do those, but I can now use Full Sail to do those properly. So I will be using it in our game. So, and the wires as well. But yeah, however many raffle prizes you want to give away, they can. Yep, whoever wins can just say what they want. So,
West Boys. Oh, do you know why I should have made you boys sing?
Two Little Boys by Rolf Harris.
We're not allowed anymore.
No,
Do you know what?
not my childhood.
Do you know what? I would love that if my childhood was not destroyed any more than it already is.
Yep. It's not a lot left.
Not a lot left. So, boys, I know that all I have to now is just think about everything that you've created in the 80s, right? And hold on to that. Hold on to that because I know that's beautiful. I've got the West Boys, the most exclamation mark raffle in chat, the most famous and prestigious of all twins in game development. As I said, who's ever come on the stream. Now,
with the only one.
don't ruin it. Don't ruin it. We know that the 80s was a joyous, and even the 90s, because of you carried on up to a point, making good games, and then those memories stay with us forever. We are gonna see what you're working on now. If you share your screen,
Hang on.
literal heroes. Exactly, they are heroes. They're keeping the decency alive. They are decent, beautiful boys. Although one of them, and I'm going to say which, has moved home, and the other brother refused to help them move. I'm not going to say which, right? Because I don't want to make him feel guilty. But apparently that's the story. So one of them was like, "I'm moving home. Would you help me out?" No, not really. I'm a bit busy. But would you make some more artwork for my assets that I want to sell? Yeah, all right, I'll do that still.
Yeah, he hasn't done that either, is he?
I've been moving.
Yes.
Again.
I only asked for...
Oh, and exactly. It's got no electricity. It's got no electricity. It's got to go out.
Nicking it off next door. The Belgians are paying for this.
They do know, but I hasten to add that events I had to go to get it working.
I'm so honoured to have been mentioned so nicely. You made my fecking year, says Irish John.
Oh.
There's Irish John making it all about himself again.
Again. Show the trailer in a minute.
All right. I've popped you out onto a big one.
Look,
there you go. There's an example of some of his artwork. That's brilliant.
That's award-winning. That is.
Hang on. The window's very small. I've got to make you big.
That is a top car.
Look at that. That is class.
Hang on. Nobody else can see it yet. I've got to make it big.
Oh, the anticipation.
Yeah.
Not that one.
There you go. There's the window. Got to find the right window, you see.
Yeah.
It's not easy being a streamer, you know. There's all smiles and sunshine. Oh, I can hear noises. Can the stream hear a noise? Can you hear a noise, stream?
So this is a very early test of the tyre model for the car. So,
oh, look at this, and you can see why Chris doesn't do graphics anymore, everyone. But carry on. Oh my gosh, this is HDRP. If people are wondering.
No, this is like 5 years old. I think this is, isn't it? So you see, you can run over the tyre. All the tyres and the cones will deform when you run over them.
Best cone physics in any racing game.
Yeah.
Now, is that using megafires for the cones, or is that
no? It is in a way. It's using some of the code and megafires. I rewrote it to do what I wanted it to do there. Let's see if we go over.
You don't get any flying cones in this game. Flying off at 100 miles an hour.
We got.
Have you actually driven your car fast over cones to feel what it feels like to get to?
Did once, didn't we? Years ago, when we were coming off the M25, we hit that cone full on.
Yeah, the car in front swerved out of the way and just left us with this cone to take full frontal. They're quite heavy, those motorway cones.
Are you actually playing this now? Or is this a video?
No, I'm playing it. It's
So as we're talking about cones, you're continually ramming into those tyres.
The
Yeah, so
tyres are
this
Oh,
is
look at
just a
that.
test of
Oh my
the
gosh.
tyre physics.
Oh!
Yeah. And you can crash into the crash barriers and they all deform. So we smash it. We go
Oh
over
my
here.
gosh. And how long ago? Oh! How long ago was this?
Sorry?
How long ago was it? Because you're saying this is an old one.
This is about 5 years ago, this one, but it's just a general testing. I don't like.
Hang on a
I
minute.
don't like.
Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Hang on. Hang on a minute. Right?
Yeah.
Hang on. 1 minute.
Oh,
Hang
God.
on a minute. 5 years ago.
Yeah, we've been on this game quite a while.
And the old you was churning out games in 2 weeks back in the day.
Yeah, but
Now, can I just say, as much as you hate producers and the people in the shirts and the ties standing behind you, poking at you, right? Do you feel like they had a role to play in you getting games shipped on time?
No. I don't know what they were. We're just taking our time. There's no rush.
anyway,
You can't rush a good thing.
Messi's asking to be the manager. I'll take the job if you want to offer it.
No. No, we're doing all right.
Hey, this is lovely.
yeah, so
Yeah,
think about
imagine-
this. Yeah, go on. What were you saying?
No, just imagine it with a nice looking.
Oh, Can we see one of his lovely? Because we've been looking at the website all day long, right? And the beautiful peaches. Can we actually see something inside Unity, right? Or have you got a build or something that shows off? Because let's be honest, right? You know, Chris, as much as I love you, man, as much as I love you, right? You got to give a little bit of love to your brother because he does try to work hard.
Okay, I can show you
He's throwing in now.
Well, I can show you. We go up a couple of years. So this has some of Tony's cars, but these are old cars. These are all being redone. But it gives you a bit more of an idea of.
By the way, Bardaki says he has that car in real life. And I missed the comment earlier about how your cones need to be a little bit more phallic to be. Oi, I'm trying to keep my childhood alive with these two boys here. Don't take them down the dirty path, right?
Okay, so these are some newer cars, but these are all being redone stuff, but it gives you a bit more of an idea.
You have closed your shared screen, by the way.
Oh, have I?
Yeah.
We've got
hang on.
infinity loop going on here.
Oh, good.
Right. Do you know
share screen. That one. Share. Go. No, there we go. Right. Is that better?
Okay, let me click. I love the chat. Like, sorry, I'm busy at work right now. But was there actually a raffle, or just talk about a raffle? Oh, that's harsh. That's harsh.
Talk to the host. Nothing to do with us.
That's a little bit.
I'm not
cold.
seeing anything here.
Right. This looks pretty.
Oh, hang on.
Can you
I'm not.
click on your brother's screen?
Oh, there we go.
Okay. Can you see that now?
I can see
I
that.
can see that.
There you go. Tony can see it. Now, while we're looking, why are the names McSpeedy and Tubby Crumbles, by the way?
Max Speedy just came to me one day. I just thought it seemed like a good name. Jimmy McSpeedy sort of says what it is. Tubby, I designed Tubby, and he looked sort of tubby. And Crumbles, we used to live Pevensey Bay on the south coast. And there was
It's beautiful.
area called the Crumbles between Pevensey and Eastbourne. So so the Crumbles was always the name that sort of stuck with us. So why not call him Tubby Crumbles? So that's his. His name.
We could have crossed paths then at Pevensey.
Oh, really? You've been.
Oh my word! A joyous time would have been to bump into the celebrity twins.
There was a software company in Pevensey.
Martech.
Yeah, that's right. They had a little office in the Promenade shops there. Right, what are we doing here? What's occurring? Oh, look at this.
So this is using URP even back then, or is this?
This is built in.
This
still.
is built in.
But
When did you move over to URP then?
URP earlier this year. To
Look at that car, that's beautiful. Hang on, go back to the fun. Was it called a Funrari?
Farini. Can't call it Ferrari. I had to pay money for that.
Oh yeah. But don't you have to pay money for the likeness? They're like, it looks too much.
They're too far. They've been caricatured too much. They're too far away from the original shape, so they won't be. You won't have to pay anything for these. That's the reason we did it.
But how do you know that you've gone far enough? Is a lawyer has to go and pass?
No, there's a certain distance, something like 3 inches or something.
You what?
There's a rule about it.
There's a rule about 3 inches. What has this stream suddenly turned into? What's going on now? I like this one. This is Mad Max.
This is the Datsun 240, which I love the Datsun 240, so I wanted to do a character version of that.
The only problem with these cars is they've got a proper engine simulator in there, so they're difficult to start because they haven't been tuned up and stuff. So,
Chat's asking, what did the numbers 22 and 67 represent, or were they just random?
No, 67 is the year we were born, and
don't give that away. That's on your passwords.
What? No. And 22 is 2 twins. So they do have a relevance.
Told you, chat. It's a warm and fuzzy stream tonight, didn't I? All right. Do you know what? Let's pop over to the helicopter, and I'm going to announce the winner. And what we're going to do is we're going to announce 2 winners because there's 2 twins. See what I've done there?
Yeah, very clever.
Occasionally, I'm clever. So. Drum roll, please. Oh no, not in the helicopter. Oh, it's like driving down the wrong way on South Mims all over again. Now,
oops.
Gonna click because you're too busy driving. Tony, could you do me a drum roll?
Oh.
I heard that. That was good. Right, the first winner is Sanyo! Sanyo, speak up in the chat. You've got 4 seconds or you lose your winnings. 1, 2, 3. I wonder if that would actually ever work. He got there before 4. Oh my word. Right, the next winner is... Drum roll, please. That's dreadful. The winner is... Bardaki! Oh no!
Yay!
Bardaki's got a full sail.
Working one.
Never. Oh my god! So you've been working on this game now. All joking aside, for how long now?
Well, it depends on whether we go back to Racing Legends or whether we just go with Ages of Speed. Because this is basically continuation of Racing Legends. We always wanted to. Racing Legends never made it because of sort of funding and issues and stuff. So, but we always wanted to finish it, so we kind of turned it into this instead. So if we say with Ages of Speed, we're looking at 20 odd years. I've not seen a light on the front of it. That's new.
Oh, look at that. That's lovely.
Tell you what, the helicopter flying is great fun. It's you can do Magnum PI stuff and all sorts of things with it. It's
do you know they rebooted Magnum?
Yeah.
And a Wi-Fi.
Like Miami Vice as well.
Oh, I can't reboot
Not the same.
Magnum. I mean, Tom Selleck is Magnum. You can't change. What? Hang on, who's this bloke walking around?
That's McSpeedy.
What? He's supposed to be in the helicopter.
Yeah, he is. His brother's in there.
Wait.
Oh, you know, took his head off.
Oh. Actually, I did smash that. It was a demo of.
Where did that go? You keep on ending your.
I know. Yeah, there's a few other little bits I can show you. Let's see, McSpeedy abuse.
McSpeedy abuse.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Going back to Rolf Harris.
Yeah. Hang on. Share that. Share screen. Car application. Go live.
I always wanted to be on Rolf Harris Cartoon Club.
We were members of the Rolf
We were
Harris.
members of Rolf
Yeah.
Cartoon Club.
Did you get to go on the TV though?
No.
Just got the card.
Were you able to replicate the whole cheek slapping thing for next week? See you next week, and then the pop.
Oh no, couldn't do that.
I spent hours smacking my face as a child to try and do it. Right, what are you sharing now on the screen? Oh, hang on. Let me share that with everyone. This is your ragdoll test. Again, this is built in. Pre-URP days. Hang on a minute. Hang on. Why are those? Why is there only one side on some of those meshes? Can see through them.
They were never meant to be seen from the bottom.
Come on, Toad. Sort yourself out, mate.
This is never meant to be seen by anybody, any of this stuff. This is just all test stuff. Because the way we work, you see, Tony will work on stuff and he won't show me anything. And I'll work on stuff and I won't show him anything. And then occasionally we'll see each other.
I know you. I always say
yeah, but not always. You've got a lot of stuff I haven't seen. I know that. Anyway, so that's we've got the ragdoll parts. That's a bit of fun there.
Do you know that he's got stuff you haven't seen, or are you just using your twin power and thinking it?
No, it's always good when I go back to the UK and we sort of get together. There's always a bit of fun. I take my hard drive with me and it's sort of show them new cars or tracks that I've been working on, and then he does this. Basically, this shows me sort of the demos that he's put together, and then we say, oh, we could do this or we could do that or whatever. So it's always fun.
Do you ever
Inspiring.
work on stuff independently? And then when you see each other to show off, you go, I've worked on this. You go, I worked on the same thing. Oh, wow. We did exactly the same thing with our twin powers.
No, Crystal will always sort of say, are you working on anything that needs any systems doing? So he always likes to be working on some sort of system, like the ragdoll or phones or something. So I'll say I'm working on something. I won't tell him what it is. But he'll say, do I need to do any systems for it? And if he does do need to, then obviously I'll give him a bit of a clue as to what it is that I'm working on.
I've got to say, I'm really disappointed.
Sorry.
Oh,
you will get.
I was hoping for some kind of twin shenanigans going on, like mind reading and powers like that, and telepathy.
I don't know.
What's the weirdest twin thing that you guys have done while developing? That we're allowed to say on stream.
I don't know. Is there anything?
What? When think? Oh, I don't know.
I can't think of anything.
I can't think of anything.
No, sorry, very boring.
Oh, you just destroyed my illusions. Because I've always been jealous of twins. The magical bond and the unbreakable. Oh my God, you've just killed him.
Yep. We'd like to run him over every now and then.
There's me talking about the unbreakable bond of the love that twins have with each other. And you just killed him. Watch Me Make Graham says, do they use ragdoll also? Are you talking about the real life twins or what are you talking about? Watch Me get Chris, tell me, what do you mean, Chris? Oh!
Yeah, might have missed that card a bit.
Oh my God. Look, these cards are beautiful, by the way. Now, when is this game going to come out? Come on.
Love that question.
How many times do you get asked that a week?
Oh, a lot. I don't know. I assume obviously not this year. So let's say sometime. Let's say sometime next year.
When it's done.
Wednesday week.
When it's done.
Yeah, that's about right.
I love that one.
Yeah, what year though?
One day, as in one day, it'll be done.
Yeah. No, we're starting to sort of put together a proper sort of demos and stuff now. So it's getting closer. Basically, I think Chris has run out things he's got to write for it.
Yeah.
Most of the stuff is done in some way or another. So it's time to actually sort of put that all together into some sort of package that other people might actually want to have a go at.
I look at this game, right, and I don't even just looking at the webpage. I look at speed, and without seeing any gameplay trailers, right, which I'm not even sure if you have any trailers on it.
Nope.
Right,
No,
I'm
we
trying to
don't.
find. But just by looking at this, it looks so fun that this is the one racing car game that I'm really excited about playing.
Well, this is the thing about games and the things we write games to be fun to play for ourselves. Firstly, because we know what we want out of a racing game. But if you make the core mechanic of any game, be it a shoot 'em up or anything, but if you're doing a 2D shoot 'em up, horizontal scrolling shoot 'em up, and if you just start with the ship and the firing of a cannon out the front of the ship, or a laser or anything, if you can make that fun on its own, so you get like a little bit of recoil, or a shell ejecting out after you do the fire, or a little bit of build up of plasma, and a satisfying hit when you hit something, as some sparks coming up or something like that. If you make that fun, the rest of the game is going to be fun as well, because people are going to enjoy doing that core element as it is. So if there's something else attached to that, killing things, scoring points, or whatever. So if you're doing a racing game, the first thing to do is to make the driving fun. I test every single car physics system that comes out, because I had to see how I'm doing compared to them. And the tire model in this is so sophisticated. I didn't do all the tire modeling. A chap called Grigor Vibo, who was a doctor of physics at Ljubljana University, started writing this system, and it's so far advanced. It's anything else out there. The games like R Factor and iRacing and stuff, they're already now thinking of doing tire models like the one we have here, because it actually models the rubber in the tires and stuff. So it's so much more drivable than anything else I've driven out there. Because you drive most of the games, Assetto Corsos and the R Factor stuff, they feel quite slidey. Don't really feel attached to the road. But this one, it's so physically correct that it drives so much better, because it's physically correct. So it does what you expect the cars to do. So you can do the drifting without having special drifting code in there and stuff. And if everything you change on the tire pressures, I'll go back to the other demo. I can show you what the tires do, because the tires all deform. Yes. And they blow up, and you get a puncture, they get a puncture, and that every part of that affects how it handles. It isn't using the Pacheco graphs, which most car physics systems use, which is an empirical model. It's an approximation of what a tire does. It's not an accurate simulation, so they can never get all the behavior out of it. So you get a nice cornering behavior, but you don't get low speed behavior, or you don't get good drifting behavior at high slip angles and slip velocities and stuff. So, but whereas this is used by a Formula One team for their in-house simulator, because it's so realistic. So that's the. So I drive for hours just spinning this car around and around in circles, doing burnouts and just driving around, because it's really good fun to drive. And I don't get that out of any other racing game that I've actually played, or any other physics system that I've tested. They always feel you feel detracted. You're not part of the car somehow. So that's the key thing to do in any game. Make the core mechanic fun to play without anything else going on. Then the rest of the game's going to follow along. So it's quite important.
Oh man, if I wasn't excited like the explosion point before, I am now.
So this is URP. So this is change service. It's got our car shader with all these different values, so you can change the griminess on the car and all that sort of stuff. So this is why I wrote Texture Studio, because there's about 13 or 14 texture maps just to do the basic car here, and then on top of that we've got a car cleaning system, and I wanted to do fiberglass damage, which involved special masks and stuff like that. So Texture Studio is written to be able to manage all the legend layers and be able to change any part of that at any time in the game. So you can change the race number, you can change the text on all the driver's name on the car, or you can change the colours on the decals and all that sort of stuff. So that's what Texture Studio is written to make this more manageable, because this is not using Texture Studio, but it's got loads of it's became a nightmare to manage the textures. But the Texture Studio takes all that away and makes it easy.
Car cleaning simulator. There is actually car cleaning, that car cleaning game out there, isn't there? So yeah, Bardaki saying in chat.
Well, but no, you've got a whole wet sponge machine. You can
Oh.
wipe and you can wax it and you can repair all the damage.
A wet sponge.
Like a bit of code to do it. There's not in this car, you can't see it here, but in the other car, there's switches. So you've got to do the switches. You've got to turn the power on. Then you press the starter button, and there's mixture and chokes and and the gear stick, and it all works off the positions of the switches or the gear stick and stuff. So it's all properly simulated on all everything. So the little lights on the dashboard, they're all wired in because I use a sort of a visual scripting thing to lay out the wiring, and it all gets quite complicated. And you wouldn't want to do that in code because you can make so many mistakes. So this is why the only part of visual scripting I like is doing things like that, state machines or wiring systems or AI.
We haven't even got onto the chat about visual scripting and AI, have we?
No.
Exactly. So you've got to come back. And chat was just saying that apparently Twitch went down for a moment while we were talking. I think it might have gone down as I was talking about the wet sponge. The first thing I hear again is wet sponges, Bardaki says. So they've come back with a little bit of a lag, it seems. Oh my word, this looks stunning. And if you are back, I was talking with Chris earlier when we were testing out the microphones, and that chat of just testing out the microphones was enough for Chris to convince me that I should actually switch over to URP. So I am going to start sticking in URP and see what happens with it.
No, URP is great. I mean, it does everything that built-in does. It seems to me to do everything I need it to do, as opposed to HDRP does. I did a test earlier on when I had the same scene running in URP and HDRP. They looked identical to me for all I needed out of it. The HDRP was running at 20 frames per second. The URP was running at 150 frames per second. So that's enough for me to say, I think I'll go with URP. So until something comes along that I can't do, I'm going to stick with URP. And built-in's great. That works just as nicely, but URP has some of the features that the camera stacking and a few other bits and pieces, which will make life a lot easier for some of the things I want to do rendering wise. And if you don't like the way something's done, you can change it because it's all scriptable pipeline. So you can go in there if you want to feeling brave and do it that way.
Irish John says HDRP is poop, but URP is smiley face.
Yep.
Well, Black Mage would not agree with you on that one, Johnny boy. I gotta say that this does look stunning. But Tony, do you have, depending on the different render pipeline, does that impact you as your workflows for creating the artwork?
No.
Quick answer.
Short answer. No. Long answer. No.
No, short answer's no, long answer's not at all.
No, the only thing that might change is say like some of the maps for reflection, specular, that sort of stuff. You might just change the intensity values on some of them if the pipeline's a little bit different, but generally there's not much difference to it. So.
Look at that. It's lovely. Oh my gosh. All right, I've realised how late it is for Tone. It's 1 o'clock in the morning.
No, it's 1:20.
1:22 in the morning for Tone.
It's all right, I'm on my own. There's no one else here. But
hang on, let me just get my little baby violin out.
I didn't start it.
Do you know what though? If I hadn't had you on the stream, would you be sucking your neighbours into power off of them? Or would you be all alone in the dark there with no power?
I would be alone in the dark.
Yeah,
and
so this stream has made you need to go round to your neighbours to get it off them. So yeah, it's good. Done you a favour.
Yeah. Still got a cold shower to look forward to in the morning, but that's
well, we all could do with a cold shower after this stream, mate. I'll tell you that. Boys, thank you so much for coming on. Especially Tony, thank you for going above and beyond to put in the effort. Chris, you've got power and electricity, right? And the heating, right? Let's be honest.
And it's early.
Right? It's a little.
In fact, it's now. Is it? We know the time because the clocks change, don't they tonight? Is that right?
Oh my God! Does that mean it's 2? 22.
We've got a
for
whole
you?
extra hour. No,
look, it's 12. It's only they go back, don't they?
Oh, they go
So-
the other way, so we get another hour.
Yeah, everyone's delighted.
Oh, that's awesome. It's always
Everyone
Friday somewhere. Well, when are you boys coming back on? Got to commit. Got to put you down on a commitment because I know how busy you are. As I say, if we go over here, it's got Chris West.
Yeah.
It's got Tubby Crumbles picture. I like the way that you designed and create the characters and then assign which twin gets which character.
Seemed to make sense. He's fat.
Like one of
Messi
you
knows
gains
that's
weight.
not true. Messi saw a picture.
Oh, I saw lots of things. If one of you gains weight, does the other one magically gain weight as well without eating?
I didn't.
I love it. Oh, there's so many twin questions I'm going to be asking you both on Discord for the next 6 hours. Oh, I have to
God.
come back to bed. I said, no, I'm with the twins. Leave me alone. Oh, boys. Can't wait to see you back in January. Thank you so much for coming on. You
Thanks,
both.
Messi. It was fun.
Thanks, Messi. That was great, and thanks everyone in the chat.
Well, we got to go and raid someone else. I'll let you go to bed, Tony. Chris, you got to stay up because the clocks went back, so you got to stay up for another hour. On stream. or not. Lads, I'll catch you soon. You beautiful badges.
Cheerio.
Buenas noches.
Oh, it's all bilingual here. If you want to see more of my crazy videos, click on the left side of your screen now. And down below, there's that big juicy subscribe button. And right next to it is the magic bell that if you click it, it will tell you if I've got a new video coming out. Till next time.